sweat and tears, I keep pushing on. Can't hold me back. Come on, come on. Train, sleep, repeat.
Train, sleep, repeat.
Now I'm ready to go.
I'm ready to go.
You can't compete.
Hey, I'm here to steal the show.
Let's go.
Train, sleep, repeat. Let's go, let's go.
You can make it. Are you ready? Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
I sleep, repeat. Let's go, let's go.
You're gonna steal the show.
Let's go, let's go. Let's go, let's go. Hey, let's go, let's go.
Toyota, all about the drive.
Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready? Time to start your engines because this is the Toyota Gazoo Racing Velocity Esports Championship 2021. I'm your host Nazruddin Rahman and it's a pleasure to be here for the 4th season of this wonderful event. Thanks to UMW Toyota, of course, for the love of racing, for the love of the game, bringing this event in its 4th edition for all Malaysians out there to try out at their hand at simulation racing. And let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, this year more than 800 participants from across the nation have gone through grueling qualifying rounds, and now here we stand. The top 20 fastest simulation racers are going to be duking it out against each other in 2 semi-final rounds for a place in the grand finals tomorrow and a shot at the prize pool worth more than 70,000 ringgit. And of course, many of you are big fans rooting for your particular drivers. The internet has been rife and social media pages, of course, lots of comments flying around. Who will be crowned the champion for this season of Toyota GR Velocity Esports Championship 2021. And of course, all this will not be possible without the collaborations of our sponsors. We'd like to say thank you to Toyo Tires, Denso, Modelista, NK, Drive M7, Motis, and Toyota Capital Malaysia. Now the question remains, who are our racers? What cars will they be racing? Which track will they be racing on? All this and more with our commentators, Victor Cax and Matthew Isaacs. Over to you guys.
Alright, terima kasih Nas dan selamat sejahtera dan selamat kembali ke Toyota Gazoo Racing Velocity Esports Championship. Anda bersama saya Matthew Isaac dan sebelah saya adalah Victor Cass dan saya akan mengulas dalam bahasa Melayu dan Victor Cass akan mengulas dalam bahasa Inggeris. So Victor Cass, how are you, man?
I'm good. It's a good day for racing here today. I can't wait to see how this day is going to turn out. You know, when we started this, you know, we had 200 people join us, you know, during the time attacks. And then now it's come down to this. The top 20 drivers in Malaysia now facing off against each other to see who is the fastest. I mean, could you ask for anything more than that?
Memang sangat-sangat benar sebenarnya, Victor. Sebab saya pun sangat teruja nak tengok siapakah yang akan jadi juara di dalam perlumbaan ini. Tapi kita akan lihat highlight because we're going to have a look apa yang jadi di dalam quarterfinal di situ, Victor.
Yeah, we are going to have a look at the highlights from the quarterfinals which we had early on. So let's go ahead and take a look at that now.
Kita berada di dalam Toyota Gazoo Racing Velocity Esports Championship quarterfinal.
Seemed like he went a little bit too wide, touched the grass.
Pretty difficult to catch up because there are lots of faster drivers than me. So it's going to be tough to challenge and we have to be prepared.
He's going to try to attack around the inside here. Iqbal Sudi doesn't quite have the space to defend. Sam Insanity to find him just in time to pass him right around the bend. Now Dingle-Dell, they still are side by side, but Chris Aaron gets forced off the track. This time, it's going to be race number 2 here. Just Ashad, unfortunately. Ooh, he's getting pushed aside now. Trading right now. Iqbal dives to the inside here on Druids. He takes Petrie away from Sam Insanity, but Sam can still fight back. Coming towards Graham Hill. He takes the inside right now, but Iqbal closes the door right in front of him from the outside. Well done to Iqbal. Iqbal Suchi, I was worried for him, but finally he has stuck it all the way through the end. He comes onto the grass though. What is he doing? Brands Hatch, Group B, Race 1 is a go now.
Masih lagi kerjasama, adakah ini peluang yang cukup baik untuk memintas beliau dan pintas juga kerjasama di situ.
A bit contact? Yes, it was contact.
Oh, ini dia peluang yang cukup baik daripada kerjasama. Berada di garisan yang keluar. Ditutup rapat oleh Yuriko dan cantik di situ. Ini adalah race kedua di dalam Group B.
I hit a car that wasn't moving, so I was fall back quite a couple of places.
Oh, inilah peluang yang cukup baik untuk Uzair. Side by side di situ.
That's going to be coming around the inside line. I think Uzair might make the move, but no way! Gets too wide and too much on the outside. He still managed to keep P1 though.
Bila kita masuk ke dalam seleko yang ke-9, adakah ini peluang yang cukup baik mengambil garisan ke dalam? Nampaknya Wayne memintas juga, tetapi Mio terus masuki ke dalam pit stop, mengambil garisan ke dalam. Masih lagi Big Daddy dan cantik nampaknya masih lagi Big Daddy memintas juga akhirnya terus masuki ke dalam top 5.
So no idea, still keeping it very close. He's going to have a look at the inside. Ooh, it makes the move stick.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Toyota GR Velocity Esports Championship 2021, Season 4 of the TGR Velocity Esports Championship.
The last few laps it's like heart beating, adrenaline is very fast.
Qualifies for the group as Danish goes on to the inside of Taichi and takes second place away from Taichi. He will not like that one bit. It is the final lap, 30 seconds left to go. Race 1 here in Group C as he comes across the line now, out of clearways and Clarkov. There he goes and takes the win. But look at what's the battle for second position. Taichi just gets it on the line by 500ths of a second ahead of Danish.
Second is pretty relaxed and then chill.
That's a good start. It's still Yardi Dibdibber who takes the lead. Second is back to the front.
Pelumba yang baik ditampilkan oleh SG Reza. Dia pernah mungkin, tetapi di bahagian belakang ada pelumba yang terbabas.
He is definitely trying to actually get his win because that first race of his was a bit of a disaster. Now he's back to the win. He's going to go through on the outside, coming out to clearways into Clark Curve. He still has about, 0.0 penalty around the outside, cuts on the inside. We saw it again there as they went through clearways, but not that time around. Taichi left the door completely open from Deep Dibber, ERD Deep Dibber. Oh, I think Danny just pushed Taichi out, coming out to Druids. Right now, if they finish where they are right now, it's 28 points to 31. Cameron James will actually qualify for the semi-finals, but they're going side by side here, coming up to Pilgrim's Drop, on the way to Hawthorns. Nigels takes first place away from Pontas. That is enough. He will actually qualify right now to the semi-finals. So it will be an either win for both races, but a different driver this time. It's been exciting so far. Now we're coming to the final group. We're underway here at Group B for race 1. There's a good start for Putra Azmira. Nabil Aslan tucks in behind him with Spirit GT3R. Nabil goes onto the inside, coming out to Druids, takes first place away from Putra Azmira.
3-4-3-6 kali ini cuba memintas Nabil dan berjaya.
Nabil goes onto the inside, holds onto the inside. Whoa, that's quite brave out of Sterling's. Now they're going side by side onto Pilgrim's Drop. Rio's on the inside, and Nabil's on the outside. Look at that, it's almost 2 abreast. They're almost equal. They're coming out to Hawthorne. And Rio has second place. That is brave. Ace Rio goes on the inside. Rio is actually on the inside this time, coming through Surtees, side by side through Pilgrim's Drop. Who's going to get the line? But Rio's going to hang it around the outside, coming through Hawthorne. He didn't push him out wide. That's good driving from Azmira and Rio. But it's Rio who takes the lead.
Now that I'm here, so after this, I'll also work hard.
And we're underway here for race 2. Eva Bovalaksa in second place. Third is Akai Suisei. Fourth is Spirit GT3R. As the field stream now coming up to Druids. All clean.
Yang kedua iaitu Nabil Azlan, tetapi nampaknya ada pelumba yang terbabas Putra Azmira.
Look at that. Rio's now to the back of Bobalaksa. Rio on the inside. He's going to do the same thing again. Remember, he did this in race 1 to win the race, but he doesn't have the room, doesn't have the momentum. Oh, does he? He goes around the outside again. Oh, he just couldn't hold on to it. This can only end in tears if one of them goes off. Oh, brilliant racing there. Rio overtaking Master for the day.
Tetapi dia perlu mengejar terlebih dahulu Kenny yang berada di tempat yang pertama. Dah Kenny masuk ke dalam pit.
Oh,
ini satu lagi yang akan menjadi persoalan.
So he's the third driver in the 4 groups to actually do a double. He's the third one after Uzay.
Memang kita semua mestilah nak masuk final kan. Untuk semua finalist, good luck and we can rest together.
What an interesting qualifying session during the quarterfinals. Now, let me tell you, for those of you who still have issues with perception, let me tell you, a virtual race and a race on a real track still gets the heart pumping, that's for sure. And looking at the fact that all eyes will be on last year's champion, Taj Aiman, will he be able to do it this year once again? Of course, represent Malaysia on the world stage. That's all. It all remains to be seen as we take a look at the lineup of drivers. Interesting enough, and as I was going through the lineups, there you are. The semi-finalists, the top 20, ladies and gentlemen, are going to be broken up into two groups, and only 5 from each category will make their way to the grand final, and a shot at the prize pool worth more than 70,000 ringgit. And it's not my first rodeo with Victor and Matt. I remember Victor telling me once, racing, it's no easy thing. Either it's on the track or on a digital track as well. So let's take a up close and personal look with the drivers from Group A and Group B. This is the semi-finals, ladies and gentlemen. And now it's over to this particular video. Let's take a closer look at our semi-finalists.
That's right, we got Touch Adrian Aiman, 23 years old.
And that is Daniel Boone, 30 years old.
Harishami, 26 years old.
Yep, Alvin Chai, 32 years old.
Got Muhammad Iqbal, 23 years old.
And Danish Wigneswaran, 21 years old.
Muhammad Faisal, 29 years old.
And Muhammad Afif, 27 years old.
Wong Boon Sam, 25 years old.
And Cameron Kachande, 21 years old. And that is a look on all the drivers. So itulah para pelumba untuk hari ini sebenarnya. So saya pun sangat teruja nak tengok apa yang akan jadi di dalam semi-final ini, Victor.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, again, we're going to have 3 races here today, so plenty of opportunities for action. And given the choice of a car and track as well, this is actually going to be something quite exciting to see, because it's a combination that I'm actually quite interested to see how these drivers will be able to tackle, because it's going to be a very, very vintage challenge, let's put it that way.
Ya, boleh mengatakan sebegitu, Victor, sebab ini adalah satu track yang agak ikonik dan boleh mengatakan satu track yang sangat-sangat berperistiwa sejarah sebenarnya. So, semua pelumba ni akan dimasuki ke dalam litak ini. So, saya pun nak tengok apa yang akan jadi, Victor.
Yeah, I mean, we got all your heavy hitters here. I mean, we got Taj Aiman coming in again. I mean, he's won the last 2 editions of this Velocity Championship, and he's looking to try to get even one more here to complete a hat trick. But then you also, at the same time, you got Muhammad Afif, coming in again this year. Muhammad Iqbal, Harishami. These are all people who have competed in the Velocity Championship and are just coming back again to face the challenge once more.
Alright, so jadi kita akan melintas hormat bersama dengan Nas dan juga pelumba kita iaitu Danish Wigneswaran. So jom kita lihat interview tersebut.
Thank you, boys, and of course we are racing towards the finish line. 10 finalists will be vying against each other, and we shall see who will be representing Malaysia on a regional and international stage. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be speaking to one virtual driver who has been making waves, and of course all the other drivers are looking up to him and going, this is the guy to beat. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here with Mr. Danish Wigneswaran, and he'll be turning 21 in just a few months' time. Congratulations, man.
Thank you.
So do you have a license? Because you race really well virtually, but you can't drive on a real road yet?
I do have a license, but yeah, I don't own a car. So I've only driven a few times on the public roads. But
so that
yeah,
means
I don't own a license.
As an extra incentive to win the cash prize, so one day you will buy that car cash.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
I love the confidence. I love the confidence. All right, so we're talking about the finalists finishing the top 10 spots. So do share your emotions about your performance up to this point, and what's your prospects in the finals?
Yeah, I think I did pretty well in the races. Obviously, I did make a few mistakes during the race in terms of time management. I don't think I might have managed the tires how I have liked. But I think my pace was consistent enough to get a solid result over here and proceed to the finals. And personally, I feel very happy to reach the finals because it's just one step closer to my aim of winning the competition, because I always aim for the top.
Excellent.
In this.
Excellent. So let's talk about your setup right now. Are you happy with the setup, the virtual setup, and what place are you gunning for?
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with the setup overall. Although I don't have a very professional setup, but it's sufficient for me. In terms of placing, I'm aiming for the top 3, aiming for a podium. But I would like to win, but the competition is quite tough, so a podium finish would be very good.
Wow, a dash of humility from Mr. Danish. Is that possible? Very good. I mean, there's always a learning curve and lots of opportunities to grow in a competition like this, yeah? So what are the positive points so far about your race, about the whole event in particular?
Yeah, I think the positive points is that we get thrown into the deep end with all the unknown multipliers. You know, we have had tie-saving races, free-saving races, and also some sprint all-out, all-in-or-nothing races where we can push. So it's a lot of variety, and yeah, it made for some great racing, and I'm really happy with how this year's Toyota Velocity organization has been very organized, very well planned, and I'm really satisfied.
Very cool. So what's your opinions on companies such as Toyota gathering support for the youth, especially on a platform like e-racing?
Yeah, I really like the initiative that Toyota Gazoo Racing has put into sim racing. I'm not referring to the Toyota Velocity Malaysia tournament, but also the recent Toyota Gazoo Racing tournament on Gran Turismo Sport, in the Gran Turismo Sport mode, which has finished recently. That has been organized well with a lot of great combos and a lot of quality drivers qualifying. So and now with Toyota Velocity Malaysia, is giving us Malaysians an opportunity to represent Malaysia in the World Finals.
Indeed, here's your chance to represent Malaysia in the World Finals on a virtual stage. So, Danish Vigneshwaran, we're going to wish you the very best. I'm sure your opponents are looking out for you. So, watch your 6 and have a good race.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And ladies and gentlemen, that was Danish Vigneshwaran, one of the favorites for a podium finish for this season's GR Velocity race on a virtual platform. So far, ladies and gentlemen, what do you think? Have you been enjoying yourself so far? And it's wonderful that Toyota sets up a platform like this for our youth to really shine. And let's hope they do. And let's see who will be representing Malaysia on the world stage. Meanwhile, it's back to you guys at the studio.
Alright, nampaknya satu interview yang cukup menarik. Adakah beliau ni favourites?
I mean, he could. Honestly, like, he does have the skill, really. If he wants to, I'm pretty sure he could actually go up and get the podium if he wants. Yeah.
Ya, semua orang memiliki kemampuan sebenarnya. So, saya pun sangat teruja nak tengok bagaimana beliau akan perform di atas lita. So, in the meantime, kita tunggu dan lihat apakah yang akan jadi di situ, Victor.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be in just a little bit of a few moments, though, before we're going to be starting our races here. So, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the car that we're going to be driving here. It's like I said, it's going to be a very vintage challenge here today because we're driving the 2000 GT, a classic car from 1967. This was a car that Toyota built to show to the world that Japan can actually build sports cars.
Memang sangat interesting sebenarnya, Victor.
Yeah, I mean, it's front engine, rear wheel drive. It's got the inline 6 built inside. 153 brake horsepower. May not sound like much, but in 67, that was sports cars numbers, my friend. And certainly, you know, with the legacy that this car has brought behind it, it's certainly a good fit, you know, for our drivers here to take the challenge of taking this old car around a nice modern circuit.
Boleh dikatakan seperti Back to the Future.
Well,
boleh kata begitu juga. Tetapi saya sangat teruja nak tengok macam mana mereka akan perform di atas lita yang juga ikonik sebenarnya, iaitu Goodwood circuit ataupun motor circuit yang kini berada di dalam England sebenarnya. So ini adalah satu track yang sangat-sangat menarik sebenarnya. Walaupun ini adalah satu short track tetapi memiliki seleko-seleko yang sangat-sangat unik sebenarnya, Victor.
Yeah, it's very, very unique because it brings that the old school flavor back to the racetrack here. Because all these corners, you know, they're very long, they're very flowy, and this really means that as a driver, you're going to have to be very, very sensitive to how your car handles throughout this track here. And given that this is the site of the Goodwood Festival of Speed, you know, it's also a perfect location, I should say, to really test out the 2000 GT.
Yep, a classic car in a classic venue ataupun classic track sebenarnya.
Yeah, yeah, indeed. I mean, it's going to be all classic all around, and hopefully the racing will just be as classic as well.
So itu dia, boleh mengatakan sedikit informasi dari segi track dan juga kereta. So in the meantime, seperti biasa kita akan menggunakan qualifying time dengan 5 minit saja dan race akan berlangsung untuk 15 minit di situ, Victor.
Yeah, so 5 minutes to determine the grid slots and then 15 minutes to handle the actual race itself. The drivers will have a choice between the tires here from hard all the way to racing softs. We have a balance of performance turned on. We don't allow the drivers to tune their cars to ensure that the performance for all of the 2000 GTs on track will be exactly the same, so which means that the only differential between these drivers is literally their skill.
Yep, boleh dikatakan skill mereka dan juga cara mereka akan membawa kereta ini di atas litar. So sedikit pertanyaan kepada Victor. What is your pros and cons tentang kereta ini?
Okay. So, given that this is a car from the 60s, you know, the first thing first is that the brakes are not going to feel very good in this car because back in the 60s, you know, we're talking about like old brakes, drum
old
brakes.
Old school line.
Yeah, very, very old school. So the braking force is not that great on these cars. That's the first thing. Second thing is that the tires, these are probably going to be the same vintage style tires. I'm expecting the grip is not going to be that great either. So pretty much, especially on a track like Goodwood where the corners are very long and flowy, I'm expecting that the driver is going to have to practically slide the car a lot, you know, throughout this circuit. So that's why I said this is going to be very interesting because, you know, practically these drivers are going to have to drift their car in order to be able to make their way through the corner as fast as possible.
Yeah, talking about the track, saya sangat teringin nak tengok seleko the chicane sebenarnya. Sebab itu adalah satu seleko yang agak sempit dan kita menggunakan jentera yang agak klasik sebenarnya. So saya pun betul-betul tertarik nak tengok bagaimana pelumba-pelumba yang sudah pun memiliki experience menggunakan kereta moden akan menggunakan jentera klasik sebenarnya.
Yeah, I mean, the chicane, very, very good place to overtake, you know, especially coming up after the straight. And certainly, you know, all the features there, it's definitely the perfect venue to race. And speaking of which, though, the race is about to start here, ladies and gentlemen. So I can't wait to see the first race, the first semi-finals here. Are you ready to race, mate?
Hey, saya always ready, man. Jom.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, first race here is going to be on the Goodwood Circuit 2000 GT. We're going to have our Group A drivers here. Again, very, very, a very packed field, a very talented field, actually, I should say. So, yep. In any case, you can go ahead and watch out for the race later.
Yeah. Boleh kata begitu juga dan saya pun boleh mengatakan sangat-sangat teringin nak tengok apakah akan jadi. So jom kita terus ke litar.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, looks like we're going to be starting our semi-finals qualifying right about now. So it's going to be a 5-minute qualifying session. The drivers already out on track. You can see from their faces that they're so focused right now because this is it. This is going to be their one shot, one opportunity to get a good position on this first race.
Ya, kita lihat seperti di dalam skrin kelihatannya sama seperti yang kita berada di dalam 80-an ataupun 90-an sebab it looks so classic sebenarnya, Victor, and it's really beautiful.
So beautiful. I mean, there's just something about these sports cars from the 60s. You just can't help. There's such aesthetics, you know, that you cannot really replicate in today's modern cars. So here we go. The drivers now going out on their out laps here, just getting a little taste of the circuit. As soon as they get past that start-finish line, it's going to be races to go and pretty much to see what kind of times these guys can set.
Yep, kalau kita lihat nama-nama yang kita sudah pun memberikan sedikit intro, iaitu Taj Aiman, Daniel Boone, Haris Syami, Alvin Chai, semua nama-nama yang cukup hebat, dan itu adalah salah satu faktor kenapa mereka pun berada di dalam semi-final. Tetapi there's only 5 winners are going to go through to the final.
Yeah, I mean that's always the sad part, isn't it? It's always got to be winners and it's also got to be losers. Coming through the chicane now, looks like it's going to be go time here for the flying laps of these guys. Iqbal Suji is going to be leading this whole pack of drivers here to start their qualifying runs. So I'm really curious to see who's going to be able to set the time up really quick here, because again, we are running this at the 13:15 hours, so it's going to be a middle of the day here. It's nice and clear, so there's not going to be much conditions on the track that the drivers have to be worried about. So really, the main thing they're going to have to contend with is just basically handling the rather unusual characteristics of this old school racing machine.
Ya, so jadi kita lihat itu Iqbal Suji, dan kini boleh mengatakan secara on screen beliau berada di dalam tempat pertama, tetapi kedudukan ini bukanlah penting sangat sebab kita akan tengok siapakah yang akan mendapati timing yang cukup baik untuk melakukan ataupun berada di dalam grid start yang cukup baik sebenarnya, Victor.
Yeah, so it's still waiting for them to come across the final turn here. There's going to be Woodcote Corner. Got Haris Zafire coming across the line very, very soon here. Let's see what kind of times we're going to be expecting out of these guys. Sector-wise, I mean, we got 26 seconds. Coming across the line now, what's going to be the fastest lap these guys will be able to set? We got 123, 122. Taj Aiman having the fastest time right now out of everyone here, so he's going to be shooting himself all the way up to the top of the board here, ladies and gentlemen, with 122.924. Danesh Wiggins-Warren able to get himself up into the second spot there with 123.9. More times are going to be coming in here. What else do we have? Muhammad Faisal able to get a 124.8, putting himself in 6th position here, and then Muhammad Afif with 124.3. So far so good. Taj Aiman yet again dominating the timing board. I mean, really, with a time of 122.9, that's going to be one heck of a difficult time to beat here.
Ya, former champion iaitu Taj Aiman, memang kita nampak beliau pun seorang pelumba yang cukup special sebenarnya. Dan seperti apa Victor kata, beliau sudah pun mendominate di dalam qualifying ni juga. Belum lagi lah kita lihat di dalam race nanti. So satu track yang cukup ikonik, satu track yang cukup cantik sebenarnya, tetapi ada juga peristiwa yang agak sedih jika kita lihat balik. Di sinilah pelumba dan inventor ikonik bersejarah motorsport iaitu Bruce McLaren yang sebenarnya meninggal dunia semasa melakukan test di atas lita, and it was during the 11th Straight there, Victor.
Yeah, it was very tragic circumstances there. I mean, Bruce McLaren was so young, and you only wonder, you know, what could have happened if he had lived on and continued to race on, you know. So, but again, you know, his legacy still continues on today in the form of the McLaren racing team. It still continues to compete in Formula 1 even today.
Yep, nama beliau masih lagi bersinar sebenarnya. So kita lihat iaitu Muhammad Afif baru saja lalu sebenarnya, dan ini dia Taj Aiman, the man to look forward sebenarnya. But my take is going to be siapa yang akan menghabis di dalam P5, Victor.
Of course,
always.
Yeah. It's because this is the semi-finals, so it's all about who gets into the top 5 here, and the top 5 is the ones going to the grand final race. So really, P5 is going to be the most contended position here out of the 10 positions these guys are going to be racing for. So yeah, you can see like the amount of body roll on these cars. You know, the suspension, it's very old. You know, this is like pre-1970s technology. So you know, it's a little step away from what you'll have on the road. But you know, back in the day, this is what counted as a really fast sports car.
Yep, satu cabaran yang cukup baik untuk semua pelumba ini menggunakan jentera yang agak klasik, sebab mereka pun sudah biasa menggunakan jentera-jentera modern sebenarnya. So this is going to be very interesting to watch sebenarnya, Victor.
Yeah, exactly. I really want to see what.
Talking
about it. We have a first casualty coming out. That was Cameron. So unfortunately, he's gonna have to spawn back into the pits there. But that effectively will mean that he's pretty much not gonna be able to get his second run out. So, ladies and gentlemen, we still have Taj Aiman on top of the board there with a time but 122.9. He pretty much will be having the front row. It's looking like Iqbal Suchi. Oh, Iqbal Suchi has just set a 122.8, so I literally just jinxed it there for Touch Aiman, because now a new challenger has just come up to take away pole position.
Nampak je belum lagi over di situ untuk Touch Aiman. So itu dia Iqbal Suci kini berada di dalam posisi yang cukup baik untuk mendapatkan grid start yang perfect sebenarnya untuk berada di P pertama. So but the battle is on di sini, Victor.
Oh yeah, I mean, again, I was not expecting that, but Iqbal Suji pulls a brilliant lap in the final closing seconds of this qualifying session in order to take away pole position from Taj Aiman. So again, even though this race is pretty much going to be for the top 5 positions here, Iqbal Suji just might have pulled a really interesting move here onto Taj Aiman.
Yep, confirm Taj Aiman pun boleh mengatakan terkejut dengan timing yang baik. So jadi kita akan terus masuk ke dalam race. So kita tunggu dan lihat apakah yang akan jadi di dalam perlumbaan ini. So ini dia Group A untuk semi-final. Nama-nama pun sudah kita lihat on screen. Itu Iqbal Suji yang kini berada di dalam P pertama. So kita tunggu dan lihat apakah yang akan jadi. So nampaknya pelumba pun sudah ready. Saya dan Victor pun sudah ready. Semua pun ready. So jadi kita akan masuk terus. Dan nampaknya lampu pun sudah dipadamkan. Dan let's go racing. On tak on, tuan-tuan dan puan-puan. Dan nampaknya satu start yang cukup baik untuk Iqbal Suji yang kini berada di dalam P pertama. Diikuti rapat oleh Taj Aiman dan juga Hari Zafri di sini. Tetapi kita nampak Taj Aiman berada di dalam garisan yang keluar. Tetapi Iqbal Suji cukup baik di situ menahankan lead beliau di hadapan.
Yeah, very, very tight line here. Very clean through this first corner here, ladies and gentlemen. So it looks like they are going to be driving very, very fast through this section here without much trouble at all. Iqbal Suji taking a very clean line here. Touch Aiman trying to have a look around the outside here. Again, this corner is very, very long and very, very fast, so it can pretty much try to make those moves on the outside. But oh, that looking a little bit sketchy there from Iqbal on the exit as he comes around through St. Mary's corner. But he's looking to be able to keep his line tight here, keeps his lead for now. Touch Aiman continues to chase.
Ya, kita terus saja kepada 11 straight dan kali ini kita nampak Iqbal Suji berada di dalam situasi yang agak selesa. Timing gap pun agak jauh daripada Touch Aiman, tetapi pressure masih lagi bersama dengan Iqbal Suji sebab dikejar oleh Touch Aiman yang kini berada di dalam P kedua dan diikuti rapat di situ, iaitu Danish Wigneshwaran. Satu nama yang kita baru saja lihat interview tadi, Victor.
Yep, he's right now trying to defend P3, but unfortunately, Hari Zafri almost had a look on the inside there as they come through the chicanes there. It could have been a lost position there, but Danesh still is able to keep it through the chicane here. So in lap number 2, Danesh still stays in P number 3.
Ya, seperti yang kita lihat. So Iqbal Suji masih lagi berada di dalam P pertama dan Daniel pun di dalam P5 sebenarnya. Boleh mengatakan beliau tu masih lagi mempunyai peluang yang cukup baik untuk memintas, tapi kini dia kita lihat Daniel Wong berada di dalam P5 diikuti oleh Alvin Chai dan kita terus saja ke dalam Seleko St. Mary's di situ.
Yeah, Alvin's starting to smell an opportunity to get into P5. Ooh, we got a 3-way battle forming up for P7 here, and literally they're getting the bumpers out here. Sam Wong and Mama Faisal now trying to fight it out for P7. They're actually getting sideways as they try to get through that move there, but it looks like Mama Faisal is able to get all the way up in front there, takes P7 and leaving Mama Afif and Sam Wong to try to fight out for the scraps here for P8 and 9.
Ya, itu dia nampaknya walaupun kita biasanya fokus di dalam P5 ke P5, tetapi banyak peristiwa-peristiwa yang cukup unik berlaku di garisan belakang dari segi dari kedudukan P5 hingga ke P10. Kali ini kita lihat on screen Muhammad Afif di situ bersama dengan Sam Wong yang kini berada di dalam garisan yang luar sebenarnya, dan Afif mengambil garisan yang ke dalam. Terus saja kita ke dalam Seleko Madwick yang akan datang tak lama lagi di situ, Victor.
Yeah, I think these drivers starting to learn that the 2000 GT doesn't exactly turn on a dime, you know. I mean, again, with old school suspension and old school tires, you know, the car really moves around a lot. So that's why it's really hard for these drivers to adjust to that, because they're so used to driving the modern, you know, super space age, well-engineered sort of race cars. But now to try to handle a beast like the 2000 GT, GT can be a completely different animal.
Ya, sangat-sangat benar di situ Victor, dan kita mempunyai 11 minit saja untuk semua pelumba ini dan kita akan tengok siapakah yang akan jadi pemenang di dalam race pertama. Kalau kita lihat sejarah sedikit, perlumbaan di sini bermula pada tahun 18 September 1948 dan track ini menjadi famous untuk pertandingan Global Trophy Non-Championship Formula One. Boleh mengatakan one of the most classic and iconic racing events sebenarnya Victor.
Yeah, and pretty much it's also the mecca for a lot of motorsport enthusiasts. You know, the Goodwood Festival of Speed is a must-go, you know, for lovers of cars and of car enthusiasts all over the world. So it's pretty much a place where you can see vintage cars just like this 2000 GT, you know, running exactly the way that they were meant to be. You know, race completely flat out on the limit here, and pretty much these guys are doing exactly just that. Danesh pretty much has pushed way past the limit, though, I have to say, because he's gotten a 0.3 second penalty there.
Danesh di situ seperti apa Victor kata, beliau memiliki penalty, tapi the chicane is the most interesting part sebenarnya di dalam lita ini sebab memiliki seleko yang sangat-sangat sempit. Kalau 2-3 kereta ataupun 2-3 jentera memasuki pada timing yang sangat sama, it's going to be a bowling alley.
Oh yeah, and again, it really forces drivers to go in one single file. So pretty much, if you're going to complete the move, you have to get it done by the time you get through Woodcock Corner. Danesh has unfortunately lost his position to Haris, though. Oh boy, looks like he's going to have to try to fight back for it. But with that penalty still hanging over his head, I wonder if he's going to be able to make it, though.
Ya, 10 minit yang terakhir dan kini kita nampak Danesh pun terus jatuh ke dalam P kelima. Kita lihat di dalam P pertama masih lagi Iqbal Suji yang kini berada di dalam suasana yang agak selesa dan baik sebenarnya. Tiada pressure yang sangat besar, tetapi pressure ni masih lagi bersama dengan Taj Aiman yang kini berada di dalam P2. A name that we wanted to see, but this time it's a turn of table di situ, Victor.
Yo, Danesh managed to get his position back, though, while we were just a little bit off camera. So Haris Zephyre is going to have to try one more time in order to try to get past. But with still 9 minutes to go in this race, though, I'm thinking that this battle for P3 might go on for quite a long time here, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep, Danesh seperti biasa, kita lihat saja interview beliau dan kini beliau pun memberikan satu impak yang maksimum di atas lita, berada di dalam P ketiga. Hopefully he's able to finish P3 or P2. We never know, man, Victor. Anything can happen in racing.
Yeah, anything can happen, but Danesh is really pushing hard here in order to try to defend his position. Really, he's setting the fastest sector 3 time out of everyone so far, so you know he's really trying to push hard here because he doesn't want to let go of a possible podium position here, even in this semi-final race here, ladies and gentlemen. Daniel Boone currently holds the most coveted spot right now, P5, and pretty much has a good, clean piece of track in front of him, and good clean piece of track behind him as well, as Alvin Chai isn't quite able to close the gap onto him quite yet. Danesh has almost gotten rid of his penalty right about now. It's already starting to open up about a half-second gap to Haris, so pretty much they're going to be able to maintain this position for now. But I'm thinking that the drivers now are starting to feel the pain of that tire wear because it is at 15 times the simulation rate right about now, so that means that the tire wear is still rather sensitive. So the drivers right now probably will be suffering a little bit in order to try to keep their pace up here. So there might be at a certain point now that the drivers are going to be thinking a lot more about maintaining the performance on the tires rather than actually trying to push for more positions.
Ya, so jadi on board kali ini kita nampak Haris Syamih yang kini mengejar Danesh yang kini berada di dalam P ketiga sebenarnya. Kita terus masuki ke dalam seleko Madwick di situ dan itu dia kelihatan jentera beliau dikejar sekali lagi dan Danesh masih lagi belum selamat sebenarnya sebab kita nampak Haris masih boleh mengatakan mendekati beliau, but the jarak is agak jauh juga lah, Victor.
Yeah, still very long, still very far. I mean, we're not seeing a lot of overtaking opportunities here. We're starting to see the gaps, the spaces start to open up for a lot of these drivers. So at this point now, you know, with 7 minutes to go, a lot of the race is going to depend on maintaining the performance of your tires. So we already start to see like the outer tires here for Taj Ayman is already quite worn. It's not too worn out at this point. I think pretty much he's doing very well actually to try to keep his tires condition in check. So pretty much at this point now, it's all about maintenance here. You know, all about trying to keep your position and making sure you don't lose too much performance before the end of this race.
Ya, kalau nak tanya je di situ Victor, apart from the chicane kan, what is the most difficult point in this track sebenarnya?
I wouldn't say difficult, but considering that we are running on this vintage sports car, I think like you might be surprised that the St. Mary's corner can be quite upsetting for these cars, because you know, with the amount of body roll, it does means that the weight transfer can be very dramatic in this car here. So with a turn that you know, starting from a very fast right-hand turn immediately to a very sharp left-hand turn, that can be very upsetting here for these cars. So Danesh now trying to regain his position here as Haris is able to get past in that time. So they're going to be going side by side through the Fort Water corner right now up towards St. Mary's, and Haris unfortunately loses a little bit of position now to Danesh. So Danesh will have the lead going through this chicane here. Goes right up to the curb here, making sure he leaves no space at all here for Haris to exploit at all, and Danesh keeps P3. So I think, like I said, pretty much we're going to see these two drivers fight it out constantly until the end of this race, man.
Ya, satu persaingan yang cukup baik daripada Haris Syami dan juga Danesh Wigneswaran. Kita lihat mereka ni boleh mengatakan something like Tom and Jerry lah. Kejar sama kejar kita nampak ya. Dan itu dia Danesh yang kini berada di dalam P ketiga, dan kemungkinan kita akan nampak beliau pun akan memberi sedikit saingan untuk Taj Aiman, tapi agak jauh sebenarnya. Tapi kita berikan fokus terus kepada Haris Syami yang kini mengejar Danesh di situ, cuba memberi sedikit tekanan untuk Danesh melakukan kesilapan. Dan kini kita pun terus saja ke dalam the chicane dan terus lepas juga dengan satu seleko yang cukup baik sebenarnya daripada Danesh dan juga Haris Syami. Dan mempunyai beberapa minit saja, 5 minit saja, 5 minit yang terakhir sebenarnya di situ, Victor. Saya pun tidak tahu apakah yang akan jadi, tetapi the fight is on untuk P3, P4 dan juga P5.
Yeah, for now, Danesh is going to hold on for another 5 more minutes here, and it's going to be quite a heck of a challenge here, because Haris doesn't seem to be giving up his challenge now of P3. He can literally smell the opportunity there, and he's not going to let that go that easily and that soon. So this fight still going to continue on with the rest of the grid. At the moment, you know, again, it's pretty much going to be maintaining positions here. You know, with the tire wear situation, I expect going to be quite dire for some of these guys here. I'm not expecting to see much fights until the very end here.
Yep, kalau kita lihat Lita ini pada tahun-tahun yang sebelum ini, Goodwood Motor Circuit ni ada juga satu event yang cukup baik, iaitu 9 Hour Sports Endurance pada tahun 1952, 1953 dan juga 1955 dan sebagainya. Dan kini biasa kita akan lihat perlumbaan annual untuk Festival of Speed, Victor.
Yeah, again, it's the mecca for all motorsports enthusiasts. You know, you get to see all the classic cars, you know, from Le Mans all the way to F1. You know, you don't only get to see these cars in action. You can actually even buy the cars at the spot. You know, it's actually a place for people to show off, you know, their collections, and it's a place for people to complete their collections as well. So certainly a fantastic place to visit. You know, it's one of those places that, oh, I think I just saw someone. Haris, he just went way off track there and might be losing yet another position here as Daniel Voon gets past him to take P4. So Haris now in the danger zone here. He's dropped all the way down to the P5. He fortunately does have a 3-second gap to Muhammad Faisal, but that gap is starting to close up right about now.
Aduh, nampaknya kesilapan daripada Haris Syami di situ. Lalu memberikan fokus untuk mengejar Danesh, terus pun melakukan kesilapan. Kemungkinan tekanan yang agak tinggi daripada Danesh, dan itu dia kita nampak tire wear juga akan agak kurang untuk Daniel Woon. Tetapi ini adalah short circuit sebenarnya, so nothing much to worry in terms of tire di situ, Victor.
Yeah, but what's going to be worrying though for Haris is that he actually sustained a bit of front end damage though from that crash. You can see his bumper indicator is actually blinking at the same time, so that means that he pretty much is not going to be running with an ideal car here. He's going to have a little bit less top speed. He might have a bit of handling issues as well, and that's also not to mention the fact his tire is almost completely gone here. You know, the front left tire I don't think is providing much grip at all. So Haris, you know, is going to be the most tense 2 minutes of his life right about now.
Ya, tekanan yang tinggi boleh mengatakan mengalami masalah di situ dari segi front bumper yang kita lihat dan juga Victor mengatakan sebentar tadi. So nampaknya kita ada 2 minit saja di dalam perlumbaan ini dan masih lagi kita nampak di dalam P pertama Iqbal Suji yang berada di dalam kedudukan yang sangat-sangat baik sebenarnya, diikuti oleh Taj Aiman yang berada di dalam P kedua. P ketiga Danish Wigneshwaran yang boleh mengatakan escape the rat race di situ Victor. Dari Haris dan juga Daniel Boon yang kini berada di dalam P keempat mengambil advantage bila kita nampak Haris Syami terus melakukan kesilapan sebentar tadi.
Yeah, and I think that was a mistake that was just basically like it was bound to happen eventually. And I mean that in the best way possible because Haris's front tire really must have been worn out so much that he understeered his way through that corner. That's why he shot straight towards the outer wall there. So again, very unfortunate set of circumstances there. But you know, for Mama Faisal and Mama Afif, you know, if they're able to catch up to him within this next minute or so, there could be a P5. There could be a slot to the grand finals on the cards here. So they can't quite give up quite yet because there still might be a chance for them up ahead.
Yep, dan kini kita nak on board, kita nampak itu Faizal sebenarnya diikuti rapat oleh Muhammad Afif ataupun lebih kenali sebagai Taichi Yagami, itu adalah nama gelaran beliau. So kini on P6 itu Faizal sekali lagi kita nampak diikuti rapat oleh Afif di situ, tapi jaraknya agak jauh sebab kita terus saja ke dalam Seleko Madwick. Dan kita tunggu dah lihat apakah yang akan jadi pada beberapa minit saja. Hanya 32 saat saja di situ, Victor.
Yeah, Mama Afif is really trying hard. Haris has crashed out yet again. Oh no, ladies and gentlemen. But this might actually end up becoming good news for a couple of people though, because Mama Faisal is now upgraded to a first class ticket to P5 now. Haris again understeering his way, gets onto the grass, loses complete grip, and there was no way he was going to be able to control his car after that point. Oh, what a shame though. Now he's going to be dropped all the way down to P7. It looked like he was going to be able to make it through, but now he looks like he's going to be out on the lurch.
Sayang seribu kali sayang untuk Haris Syami di situ, tapi kini kita nampak Iqbal Suji masih lagi berada di dalam P pertama dan kemungkinan beliau akan terus saja menjadi pemenang di dalam race ini. Kemungkinan ini adalah Seleko yang terakhir. Kalau kita lihat di situ dan terus saja Iqbal Suji yang akan masuki ke dalam chicane diikuti rapat oleh Taj Aiman. Bukan rapat sebenarnya, boleh mengatakan jauh juga. Dari angle tu nampak macam rapat, tetapi kita lihat Iqbal Suji kini menjadi pemenang di dalam race pertama untuk Grup A dan diikuti oleh Taj Aiman dan Wigneshwaran yang kini berada di dalam T3 nampaknya. Dan nampaknya Daniel Boon juga akan menghabiskan race ini dengan P4, P5 itu Faizal, tetapi belum lagi tamat di situ. Afif memberi sedikit cabaran di situ. Masih lagi Afif, adakah ini peluang yang baik untuk Afif memintas di situ dan memasuki ke dalam, dan nampaknya masih lagi bernyawa di situ, Victor.
Actually, like they're just about finishing their cool down lap there, so bit of a shame there for Afif though. He looked like he was almost going to be able to get the pass done. Maybe if it was one extra lap, perhaps he could have gotten through, but
he just got the distance.
Yeah.
Baru dapat. Tetapi ini dia pemenang kita, Iqbal Suji, yang betul-betul mengejutkan kita semua. Walaupun kita meletakkan nama semuanya kepada Taj Aiman, tetapi seperti yang saya mengatakan, di dalam perlumbaan apa-apa pun boleh berlaku. The best can go to the worst can be the best. Anything can happen, man.
Anything can happen here. So that's the end of race number 1 here. Iqbal Suji taking a really shocking win over Taj Aiman here. So perhaps the first blow here towards Taj Aiman. So let's see whether they will be able to fight back though, because in race number 2 though, that's where fortunes are going to be reversed a little bit, isn't it?
Ya, masih lagi berpeluang di situ, itu di dalam race kedua. Tetapi Haris Syami, a bad moment untuk beliau di situ, Victor.
Yeah, such a shame though. I mean, again, that's the difficulty of long-term races, you know, especially when the tire wear is so aggressive. Once you lose your tire performance, it's pretty much done. You know, you got no grip whatsoever, and you're just gonna struggle to complete the race after that point. So. And for Haris, you know, it's especially heartbreaking because it was that last crash there, the final minute. You know, if he could just
it's heartbreaking if you
if you could just have held on for just that extra minute there, it could have been an entry into the grand finals there. So again, so sad for Haris there.
Yeah, he actually started the race absolutely well, but after kita nampak beliau pun mengalami kesilapan dan juga boleh katakan his car had a little bit problem lepas the crash. Tetapi that is what it is lah, Victor. And he was also trying to chase down Danish yang berada di dalam P3. How about that?
I kind of feel that was really the reason why he wore out his tires so hard early on. You know, he was pushing really hard there to try to give the pressure to Dinesh, but unfortunately that resulted in him wearing out his tires way faster than he anticipated. So yeah, like you said, it is what it is.
So nampaknya tamat race yang pertama. So jom kita lintas hormat bersama dengan pelumba dan juga host. Take it away, my man.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Victor. What an exciting race 1. Dan sekarang kita bersama-sama dengan pemenang P1 Race 1 Semi-final 1, Muhammad Iqbal bin Suji. Assalamualaikum, bro.
Waalaikumsalam, bro.
Baru muka lega terpampang di sana ya. Jadi macam mana perasaan anda mengalahkan juara musim sebelum ini di dalam Race 1 Semi-final 1? Macam mana perasaan anda sekarang?
Nak kata lega sebenarnya tak berapa lega lagi lah sebab ni baru race 1. So mungkin dia simpan performance tu pada race-race seterusnya. Bukan nak kata tak take it easy, tapi kemungkinan race-race seterusnya mungkin ada peluang untuk dia punya pace maybe dia akan lagi laju. So sekarang untuk buat masa saya dah cukup gembira dapat 25 point. Tapi nak take it race by race lah, tak nak pushkan sehingga.
Saya suka perwatakan awak, seorang yang cool under pressure begitu. Jangan melatah dulu ya, baru race yang pertama. Jadi, macam mana perasaan anda berlumba dengan Toyota 2000 GT? Saya nampak body roll dia begitu dahsyat. Adakah kesukarannya berada dalam handling ataupun track itu sendiri? Macam mana, Iqbal? Apakah cabaran yang paling sukar?
Cabaran kereta ni, dia dua perkara lah sebenarnya. Satu adalah, ni kereta lama. Jadi dia punya spring tu taklah spring yang keras. Dia lembut lah, tak boleh lembut-lembutnya lah. Dengan keduanya, dia bagi setting untuk perlumbaan kali ni, tayar dia tu memang sangat melekat. Jadi kereta dah lembut, dan bagi dengan tayar yang cukup melekat, kiranya kereta tu memang sangat sensitif. So memang kena betul-betul rasa dengan mengagak body roll tu supaya kereta tak membuang. Boleh laju walaupun kereta sliding, tapi tayar memang akan hancur. So memang kena jaga-jaga.
Nasib baik hanya 15 minit dan 7 pusingan saja. Walaupun begitu, tayar management adalah sangat penting. Hard tires or soft tires? Mana satu?
Soft lah rasa. Sebab hard walaupun tahan tapi overall tak apa-apa laju lah.
Okey. Jadi semua terpulang kepada strategi tersendiri. Jadi buat masa sekarang ini, siapakah anda rasa contender yang paling dekat dengan anda? Who's the man to beat?
Semestinya champion terlepas, Taj Aiman. Walaupun dia tak begitu aktif di online di turnamen-turnamen lain, tapi dia sentiasa ada pace. Bagi dia praktis sikit memang dia akan boleh laju lah. Boleh kata seperti kita tahu dia pun masuk Olimpik. So memang semestinya pace dia ada. So dia lah mungkin cabaran terdekat bagi saya.
Mesti teruk je dapat mengalahkan wakil Malaysia di gelanggang esports ini. Tahniah sekali lagi Bapak Iqbal, good luck for race 2. And there's 3 races altogether. Jadi simpan tenaga sikit. Assalamualaikum and good luck for the next race.
Assalamualaikum. Thank you, bro.
Alright, itulah dia pemenang Race 1 Semi-final 1, Muhammad Iqbal bin Suji, running a good race there and heading off the challenges of Taj Aiman, last year's champion and Malaysia's representative as well. So right now, let's take a look at Race 1 highlights. What an interesting race.
Let's go ahead and have a look once more at this first race here. Again, the start was very clean, you know, very little incidents, and pretty much Iqbal Suji was just leading this train of cars all the way throughout this race.
Ya, betul di situ, Victor. Beliau mengambil advantage yang baik di dalam awal perlumbaan ini dan terus berada di dalam kedudukan yang baik, bukan memberikan saingan yang besar untuk Taj Aiman. Tapi itu dia, Victor. He maintained his speed. He was very composed walaupun dikejar oleh Taj Aiman. Tapi itu dia berlaku untuk Iqbal Suji yang menjadi pemenang. Tetapi banyak peristiwa yang cukup menarik berlaku antara Danish dan juga Haris Shami.
Yeah, and Muhammad Faisal as well. You know, he was further at the back there, and he had been involved in a three-way scrap. But who knew he was going to eventually be able to make his way up to the front, though? Alvin Chai ended up going a bit onto the grass there. He was having a little bit of a scrap with Daniel Vu quite early on, but unfortunately got himself falling back there. Then this was a scrap that we've pretty much been witnessing all throughout the race here. This was for P3 between Danish and Haris Zefire, and really, I was so much rooting for Haris here to keep this battle going all towards the end. But you know, like I said, I think him trying to push very hard, you know, unfortunately costed him this race here because he ended up losing a lot of grip on his tires, and this mistake right here dropped him all the way down to P7.
Ya, boleh mengatakan satu race yang cukup baik dan kita pun sudah lihat Iqbal Suji yang menjadi pemenang di dalam race ini yang kita lihat highlight sebenarnya. So, jadi jom kita tengok result sedikit apa yang jadi di dalam race pertama. So, nampaknya di P pertama Iqbal Suji mendapati 25 poin di situ, Victor.
Yeah, 25 points, the maximum possible. That puts him ahead of Taj Aimam, who only has 18 points. So that's going to be pretty much Iqbal leading the pack here.
Yep, Iqbal seperti biasa dan kita tunggu dan lihat apakah yang akan jadi di dalam race kedua. Dan di dalam P3 Danish dengan 15 mata. P4 Daniel Vun dengan 12 mata. Di dalam P6 kita nampak Afif dengan 8 mata. P7 Haris Shami dengan 6 mata. Walaupun kita nampak beliau memberikan sedikit saingan cukup baik, tetapi itulah di dalam peristiwa perlumbaan apa-apa pun boleh berlaku dan terus pun jatuh tangga nampaknya. Di P8 Alvin Chai dengan 4 mata. P9 Wong Bun Sam dengan 2 mata. Dan nampaknya terakhir adalah Cameron Kechandi James.
Yeah, so that is scores as it were after race number 1. So back to our host now, Naz, as he brings us through the show.
Thanks, Victor. Thank you, Matthews. Oh, of course, what an exciting race we've seen so far, especially when we take a look at the fight for the top 5 places. Haris, Salim, oh my goodness. Just that last bit just slipping up due to the deterioration on the tires, and that's a great way to for someone from the back to steal that position number 5. If I'm not mistaken, it's Muhammad Faisal. Congratulations to our top 5. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a quick break and prepare yourself for the excitement that is race 2, semi-final 1. And of course, all this will not be possible if it wasn't for UMW Toyota bringing Malaysia's largest esports simulation driving championship here to the masses, and in collaboration with Toyota's Denso, Modelista, NK, Drive M7, Motis, and Toyota Capital Malaysia. Stick with us, ladies and gentlemen, dear car enthusiasts. We'll be right back with race 2. Don't go away. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, you're still with me, Naz Rahman, and this is race 2 of the Toyota Gazoo Racing Velocity Esports Championship 2021. It is in its 4th season. My goodness, I'm so excited. The words are hardly coming out of my mouth. What an exciting race one, where we saw Muhammad Iqbal pip the Malaysian man to beat, which is Taj Aiman, and he has gotten full points, 25 points from the very first race. So well done. 2 more races to go, and this time around it's reverse grid on the same track. How are they going to fare? Will Inche Muhammad Iqbal continue his wonderful streak? Well, it's only time will tell, ladies and gentlemen. And now it's on to our commentators. Maybe for those of you who've just joined us, we'll give a little bit on race highlights 1 and what we can expect in race 2. So it's over to Victor and Matthew.
Alright, terima kasih Nas. Selamat datang dan selamat sejahtera. Dan ini adalah Toyota Gazoo Racing Velocity Esports Championship. Anda bersama saya Matthews Isaac dan juga Victor Gas. So nampaknya satu race yang cukup baik di dalam race pertama untuk Group A, Victor.
Yeah.
So Victor, how are you feeling so far di dalam Group A ni?
I'm still excited. I'm still full of energy right now. I can't wait to get this next race underway here. You know, after seeing how things unfolded in race number 1, this only makes things a little bit more exciting here for race number 2 because simply of the format. You know, we already ran this, you know, with the standard qualifying to normal race. This time around is going to be reverse grid. So what that means, especially for Haris here, is that he's going to have another chance right now, you know, to fight for the points here. Because even though he finished in 7th place, he's going to be finishing ahead of the guys who actually passed him in the final minutes of that race number 1. So that means that in the next start, he's going to have a chance to fight back.
Ya, boleh mengatakan begitu saja sebab Haris Syami mengalami sedikit masalah di situ, tapi there's always a chance di dalam race kedua sebenarnya. So jom kita akan lintas hormat bersama dengan Nas dan juga seorang pelumba yang boleh dikatakan terkenal dan juga seorang drifter yang terkenal, iaitu Tengku Jan. Let's go.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Yes, some of you guys have mentioned Toyota Gazoo Racing, and of course, at this point in time, everyone's missing the track. But I must say, if there's one phrase that embodies the Toyota Gazoo Racing spirit, is pushing the limits, and this is one guy who definitely pushes it to the limit. We're going to be speaking to 2-time Formula Drift Asian champion, Malaysia's first D1 Grand Prix champion, and of course, he has been dominating the TGR Vios Challenge, crowned overall champion twice in a row. Siapa lagi kalau bukan Tengku Jan Le kita. Hey Jan, how you doing?
Good, Nas.
Alright, so I'm sure you're keeping sharp, and although you haven't been on the track for quite some time, how have you been keeping up to speed with your skills?
I know, right? I really missed the track. It's been almost 4.5 months, I think now. But yeah, you know, I mean, as a racer, so we basically I'm using the e-racing platform now to stay sharp and basically get in some practice, driving time, seat time.
So when we talk about on track, live, the asphalt, the wind, the rubber burning, how does it compare to burning digital rubber?
Very, very different. I think when we drive on the track, we're actually using all our senses, even smell, you know. But when you're in the virtual world, then to me it's a lot more 2D. So it's a lot more visual, and the feedback that you get is only through the steering wheel. So you've got to manage that, and you've got to try and visualize and how do you say, immerse yourself in that digital experience. Yeah?
All right. So in terms of the professional drivers jumping onto the simulation scene, and we see Toyota Gazoo Racing Velocity going into its 4th year as well, it really is gaining popularity. So as a professional driver, what are your thoughts on this?
Well, it's definitely gaining popularity. If you look at the young blood in Formula 1, Max Verstappen, Lando Norris, they're all on simulator racing as well, you know, iRacing. So, you know, it's proof, even in Malaysia. I mean, if you look at our TGR rookies, we have Nakir Azlan and Mika Hakimi, who has performed really well, you know, at the round 1 of season 4. Actually showing the potential of what sim races can actually do. So it's definitely a platform that is growing and something that will be recognized in the near future for sure.
Let's talk about the platform and how it prepares you for real life racing. We talk about so many variables. The track itself, you want to drive in the rain, you want to drive in the sunshine, you want to talk about how much grip the tarmac has. What kind of variables can you actually control?
You can actually control everything. So I mean, weather is one of it. You can actually even have the damage, so the damage model as well, even the tire model. So actually there's a lot of things which you can set via sim racing, and that basically emulates the real world. So yeah, whatever they're doing, I mean, you can see like even TGR Velocity now, providing the platform, the opportunity for Malaysians to actually take part in motorsports. I mean, it's not easy to actually get into motorsports, and e-racing is now the platform that allows you to be involved in motorsports.
Well, right now you are the Toyota Gazoo Racing ambassador. So you've been racing a long time as well. How does large corporations like this, when they come down and support talent, does it make a big difference?
Of course, definitely. Number one, like I said, providing the platform. So in Malaysia, it's providing that platform for Malaysians to be part of motorsports. If you look at the rookie program, the TGR rookie program, so getting sim races, the good sim races, and moving them along, giving them a path, giving them an opportunity for growth in motorsports. I mean, they've started off with passion, and so these sim races have started off with passion, and then now Toyota, with its passion, is also bringing this digital platform to how to say, align simulator racing with real world racing. This is a great opportunity.
Excellent. So it's a great opportunity for young Malaysians to get on board. Who knows? This is the time for you to shine on a digital platform. And we talk about the Toyota Gazoo Racing Velocity race. Yeah, it's in its fourth edition. So when we talk about the variables or the platform itself, how real is it? I mean, you talked about the damage model before. So will that be employed in Toyota Gazoo Racing Velocity? So that means if, let's say, you get clipped in the wing or your tire gets some damage, do you actually feel that in the race?
Yeah, of course, because if you don't do that, then it's going to end up being a video game, right? So in terms of realism, I believe a lot of these factors have been put in so that the racers actually race with their mind switched on, basically, instead of trying to punt someone out. It's trying to think of the right strategy and the right overtaking maneuver to pass your competitor. So that's very important in any form of racing.
Excellent answer. Excellent answer. Okay, let's wrap things up right here. I know that as we go into the race, a lot of people are going to be nervous, especially Malaysians, especially first-time racers on a simulation. So for Toyota Gazoo Racing Velocity participants, what would you like to say? Kata-kata perangsang, kata-kata semangat buat mereka.
Okay, so I would like to say that speed isn't everything. Consistency is key, and of course, planning your way through the race and keeping calm. So if you have all that in place, inshallah, you can win.
There you go. Easier said than done, though. Okay, I got time to squeeze one last question. Of course, we're going to be watching out for you at the exhibition race. You'll be racing with the Toyota Gazoo Racing celebrities as well as two of the rookies. Which car will you be choosing if you had a choice?
Oh, definitely the Supra.
Ha! I know Tengku Jan like the back of my hand. All right. So teach those celebrities a lesson, a digital lesson. And of course, hopefully the rookies will give you a run for your money during the exhibition race. So watch out for that, ladies and gentlemen. And it's Tengku Jan. Thank you so much. All right, that was a short one-on-one session with Tengku Janle, Toyota Gazoo Racing ambassador and all-round awesome racer. Well, we'll watch out for his performance during the exhibition race, so stick around for that. Meanwhile, it's back to you guys in the studio.
Alright, so nampaknya satu interview yang cukup baik daripada Tengku Jan mengatakan that motorsports and also esports akan beri satu platform yang cukup baik untuk anak-anak muda yang berada di dalam bidang esport motorsport ni. It's going to be very interesting to see that this is going to be a normal thing for them to adapt for the future, Victor.
Yeah, indeed, and it's so great to see it. You know, you have local legends like Tengku Jan, you know, supporting, you know, initiatives like this. You know, it's so great to see. You know, and, you know, especially for me, having, you know, watched Tengku Jan, you know, drifting back in the day, you know, competing in D1. I really love the fact that, you know, he's here supporting e-racing as well. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, looks like our second race is going to start. We're going to be racing yet again here at Goodwood Circuit. It's going to be a reverse grid start here, so that means those who have finished last are going to be starting first. So that means Cameron is going to be in the front of the grid here next to Sam Wong. So it's going to be a start right now. It's going to be 30 minutes of race time here. There's going to be a chance for the drivers to take one pit stop and only one pit stop at all. Here we go. This is going to be the race start. Cameron keeping the start very, very nice and tidy. It's pretty much going to be a clean sweep here until we get to the first turn. Cameron J still maintains the lead. Sam Wong and Alvin Chai keeping very, very close and pretty much going to be able to streamline their way towards the next corner, and it's pretty much looking like Sam Wong is starting to think about making a pass on the next sector.
Ya, nampaknya satu start yang cukup baik untuk Cameron di situ, dan kali ini kita nampak Sam berada di dalam garisan ke dalam, tetapi Cameron masih lagi berada di dalam satu line yang cukup baik. Kali ini masih lagi kita nampak Sam Wong dikejar oleh Haris, juga cuba merapati di situ untuk mendapatkan tempat ketiga, tetapi Alvin Chai kali ini, dan nampaknya Alvin Chai berjaya juga memintas di situ. Kini berada di dalam P kedua. P ketiga adalah Sam Wong, dan Muhammad Afif juga memberi sedikit cabaran, dan nampaknya Afif keluar grid di situ. Dan he's back. Oh, nampaknya terus jatuh juga itu Muhammad Afif. That is horrible, man.
Yeah, that's going to be grounds for a protest, that's for sure there. That really looked like he got pushed off the track there completely. We could see them literally bumping and grinding their way through that corner there. So, man, I mean, this is literally first lap action we have on our hands here, ladies and gentlemen. At Goodwood Circuit is still going on right now. Look at how tight and how packed it is right in the middle here, ladies and gentlemen. As they come towards chicane, still too wide on some of them. Mama Faisal able to keep just in front of Iqbal Suji, but right now he's going to have an opportunity now to actually bring an attack onto the fastest guy on the track here, Taj Aiman.
Ya, dan masih lagi Alvin Chai yang kita nampak di dalam P pertama. Berada di dalam kedudukan yang cukup baik. Alvin Chai dia nampaknya siapa keluar di situ? Cameron J yang keluar di situ. Dan nampaknya Cameron J pun telah jatuh tangga ke P4, dan kita nampak Sam Wong Haris mengambil advantage dari kesilapan Sam di situ. Dan nampaknya kali ini kita nampak apa yang jadi di situ sekali lagi.
Yeah. Matchwick Corner has claimed yet another victim again. Last race it was Haris.
Yeah.
This time it's Cameron. So, oh my goodness. And especially, you know, given that the tire wear setting is pretty much the same here in this race as well, as at 15 times the simulation rate. So again, they're going to be suffering from that lack of tire performance by the time they get to the middle of this race here. So that's why that pit stop window is going to be very important. The drivers are going to have to not only maintain the conditions of the tires for this run, but they're going to have to strategize when exactly do they want to come into the pits to grab a fresh set of tires. The strategic choices there could determine how they end up at the end of this race.
Ya, saya pun sangat teruja di situ, Victor, nak tengok apakah strategi pit stop daripada para pelumba kita untuk hari ini. So, jadi kita lihat on screen Iqbal Suji dikejar sekali lagi oleh Taj Aiman yang kini berada di dalam P keempat. Kita tunggu dan lihat apakah yang akan jadi. Kita terus saja ke dalam Seleko Madwick di situ. Dan apakah yang akan jadi di situ. Haris Sefri masih lagi berada di dalam P4. Taj Aiman, dan kita nampak on screen. Sam keluar di situ nampaknya. Dan Taj Aiman terus saja ke dalam P4, tetapi I feel like there's a little bit of a push there.
It looked like it, but then Taj Aiman, to be fair, was actually losing control because he dipped a couple of tires into the grass. Oh boy, I mean, that certainly is going to be looked over by the stewards there, but it's a bit tough for me to call whether or not that was intentional contact or not, but certainly that's a bit of lost control, and yet again, it's happening on the Matchwick corner, so it's certainly showing that it's actually becoming a bit of a challenge here for these drivers to even tackle that first turn. Haris Zefri trying to defend an inside line attack here from Iqbal Suji, and it seems to be actually keeping his lead for now, actually maintaining a lot of speed through there, and he will have the inside line coming up to the next turn. But really, I think with Haris Zefri now getting a lot of pressure from behind. Danesh yet again trying to take away the position. Trying to go for a look at the outside. He slings around to the inside. Still isn't able to find a gap, so he is going to tuck himself right behind Haris True as they get towards the chicane.
Ya, apa yang sangat interesting kali ni, di dalam race pertama kita nampak Danesh berada di dalam P ketiga. Di dalam race ini juga Danesh masih lagi kekal berada di dalam posisi yang ketiga, diikuti oleh Iqbal Suji di dalam P keempat. Dan kita lihat apakah yang akan jadi di dalam Seleko Midweek ini. Kita terus saja bersama dengan Haris Syami yang mengalami masalah di dalam race pertama. Ini adalah masanya untuk melakukan redemption, boleh mengatakan di situ, Victor.
Yeah, indeed. And if he does finish in P2 here, that pretty much is going to be a redemption, a massive redemption here from his performance in the last race. But the thing is, Danesh seems to be quite content with actually raining on his parade here because yet again, just like in race number 1, Danesh really wants a position from Haris Zefri. Though this time they probably will be sharing a podium by the time they get to the end of this. But oh, look at this. Iqbal Suji getting past Danesh right around the St. Mary's corner, so that's a little bit unexpected, but yet again, looks like Iqbal is pretty much on his way towards the front of the grid here, ladies and gentlemen.
Ya, nampaknya jatuh juga di situ Danesh dan Iqbal Suji. Seperti yang kita lihat di dalam race pertama, beliau mengekalkan posisi yang cukup baik dan terus menjadi pemenang. Tetapi kali ini kita nampak Alvin Chai on board yang kini berada di dalam P pertama. Kita terus saja ke dalam the chicane sebenarnya. Dan kita tunggu dan lihat apakah yang akan jadi. That is a good position to be in so far, Victor.
Oh, of course, you know, being in front of everyone, that's the place everyone wants to be, right? But for Alvin Chai in particular, he's doing quite well in his tire management, I have to say. You know, just keeping it nice on the medium tires here. Again, we're still only about 5 minutes through the race here, and even at the 15 times simulation rate for tire wear here, it's quite refreshing to see that these drivers have already adapted very well to this new condition.
Dan juga jentera juga di situ, Victor.
Yeah.
So, jadi kita lihat apakah yang bakal jadi di dalam P2 hingga ke P5. Dan on board kali ini kita nampak Muhammad Afif yang baru saja kita nampak sedikit masalah dari segi kontrol di situ, terus menjatuh tangga nampaknya, dan Taj Aiman yang kini berada di dalam P6 dan Faisal di dalam P5. So, mereka pun terus saja ke dalam Seleko St. Mary's di situ, dan dengan 11 corner yang mereka akan mengalami sedikit cabaran. Muhammad Faisal masih lagi berada di dalam P5 diikuti oleh Taj Aiman. Tapi saya sangat teringin nak tengok apakah cara Taj Aiman akan melakukan terus saja ke di dalam top 5 di situ, Victor.
Yeah, it pretty much is going to be a game of patience here from Taj Aiman because he's going to have to just keep behind a lot of these guys and just ride the slipstream and hopefully be able to get a little bit of a lead as it comes to the final corner here. He's going to be able to make this move stick there just before the chicane, and pretty much we'll be able to take P5 now. So Taj Aiman again, very much on a roll right now. It's just so impressive, you know, to see the way this kid races.
Ya, beliau memiliki skill yang agak unik. Kita baru saja lihat bagaimana beliau memintas Muhammad Faisal, dan itu dia Taj Aiman, former champion, boleh mengatakan beliau pun kini berada di dalam P5 ataupun lebih boleh kita mengatakan di dalam top 5 nanya. So Danesh berada di dalam P4. Seperti biasa beliau cuba memberi sedikit tekanan kepada Iqbal Suji kali ini, diikuti oleh Haris yang berada di dalam P3. Bagaimana sebenarnya? Masih lagi Iqbal Suji di situ. Dan diikuti oleh rapat reduit tiga jentera ini yang berada di dalam P2 hingga ke P4. Dan Iqbal Suji, nampaknya his back was going left and right sedikit di situ, Victor.
Yeah, Danesh is actually sensing the opportunity, so he's keeping very close, keeping around the outside of Iqbal Suji. Is he going to be able to make this move stick, though? Iqbal still will have the inside coming through his turn here, so he will be able to get his nose ahead of Danesh by the time to get to his straight. So right now, it's still another corner to go here for Danesh to try to make another move. He's going to have a look around the outside of Iqbal Suji to this turn, though, so I'm not sure if that's going to work out for him. So immediately he tries to switch around towards the inside now. Danesh is literally not letting this go to pretty much until the end here, but Iqbal still is able to keep his P3 position even right by the time he got to the chicanes.
Ya, kalau kita lihat Taj Aiman memang ingin untuk mengejar Iqbal Suji, tetapi dihalang oleh Danesh yang kini berada di dalam P keempat. Kita terus saja ke dalam Seleko Midweek sekali lagi, dan kita mempunyai 21 minit di dalam perlumbaan ini. Masih lagi satu jangka masa yang agak panjang. So semua pelumba ini masih lagi mempunyai peluang-peluang yang cukup baik untuk meminta satu sama lain, dan kita lihat sekali lagi di dalam P kedua, dan ketiga itu Iqbal Suji. Danish masih lagi mengekalkan posisi beliau. Touch Aiman di dalam P kelima dan kita baru saja melepasi Seleko Fort Water di situ, Victor.
Yeah, pretty much the drivers right now are just going to have to follow each other very closely. And again, it's going to be a battle of pretty much maintaining consistency throughout all these laps. Because again, just make a little bit of mistake here, lose a little bit of speed through this corner, and then you're pretty much going to find your opponents getting past you with relative ease. So pretty much Danesh finding himself very much in a tough position here because he's between two of the fastest guys on the circuit here, and he's pretty much in a very tight spot here. But again, being able to keep up with these guys certainly is quite impressive on his part.
Yep, dan boleh mengatakan segala tekanan berada di dalam top 5 sebenarnya sebab hanya 5 pelumba saja yang akan memasuki ke dalam final sebenarnya, dan itu dia kita baru saja melepasi Seleko The Shirkin sebenarnya. Dan di dalam P5 masih lagi Touch Aiman yang boleh mengatakan berada di dalam posisi yang cukup baik sebenarnya, tapi masih lagi mempunyai peluang-peluang lain kepada pelumba-pelumba yang berada di dalam P6 all the way to P10 di situ. Dan kali ini on board kita nampak Cameron J. He had a bad moment just now, Victor.
Yeah,
he started well tetapi melakukan sedikit kesilapan dan terus jatuh ke tangga ke-10.
Yeah, that's just the consequences really of making such a big mistake early on. And again, Cameron started in the front of the grid, but unfortunately one mistake through matchway corner ends up in the wall and bumps him all the way down towards P10. So it's so unfortunate here, especially considering that he's the only Sarawakian actually to be participating in Group A here. So it's kind of sad that he didn't really have a fair shot here, I feel, in race number 2.
Yeah, he has a very unique name sebenarnya, Victor. Cameron James. Kalau kita terbalikkan, is James Cameron. Satu director yang kita sangat-sangat kenal sebenarnya. Tapi itu dia. Kali ini beliau berada di dalam P ke-10 dan itu dia ada penalty juga di situ, Victor.
Come on. He's already so far behind. He don't need to have a penalty on him some more here. Just further adding to his woes here. But nevertheless, things like these, they do happen in Gran Turismo, I'm afraid.
Ya, so masih lagi di dalam P ketiga itu Iqbal Suji dikejar oleh Touch Aiman sekali lagi. Di dalam race pertama kita nampak beliau pun itu posisi yang agak sama juga, dan kali ini kita nampak Haris yang kini berada di dalam P kedua diikuti oleh Iqbal. Adakah ini peluang yang cukup baik untuk Iqbal memintas Haris di situ? Kita terus saja ke dalam Seleko Fort Corner. Bagaimana pula kita lihat apa yang akan jadi di dalam Seleko ini? Nampaknya Iqbal Suji mengambil garisan keluar. Adakah ini peluang yang cukup baik untuk memintas? Dan masih lagi Haris cuba mempertahankan posisi beliau, tetapi Haris cukup baik di situ. Adakah peluang? Dan nampaknya Iqbal Suji. Adakah ini peluang? Masih lagi Iqbal Suji memintas juga. Sebab saya sangat-sangat teringin nak tengok apa jadi di dalam Seleko yang terakhir di situ. Dan nampaknya Iqbal Suji berjaya memintas Haris dan juga Touch Aiman kini berada di dalam P3 di situ, Victor.
Yeah, like again, it was right at the most difficult part here, the track, which is St. Mary's Corner. Like I mentioned to you, you're going from like a sweeping right-hand turn that's actually relatively fast, and it's suddenly sharply turning left. So if you're not careful at that moment there, you can easily cause your car to oversteer and spin out. So really, for Iqbal Suji to go for a move like that, it's so incredibly difficult. The chances of you spinning out, making that move there, is just so high. So really, for him to be able to make that move stick there, huge credit to him. He definitely deserved that P2.
Ya, 17 minit yang terakhir kita pun tunggu dah lihat apakah yang bakal berlaku di dalam perlombaan yang kedua di dalam Group A ini, dan kita lihat on screen seperti biasa Iqbal Suji yang kini berada di dalam P kedua diikuti oleh Touch Aiman di P ketiga. Kalau Alvin Chai, beliau pun berada di dalam satu posisi yang sangat-sangat baik sebenarnya. He has nothing to worry. He's just like going on a Sunday drive. It's like, I'm going to do my stuff. The rest of the pack just follow me.
Yeah, pretty much. But again, we're already reaching the point of the race now that the tire wear is already wearing through the front tires a lot. You can see it's already halfway through the outer tires right about now for Alvin. So pretty much I think he's going to have to start thinking about when he's going to be going into the pits. We've got 16 minutes left on this race here. So we're barely at the halfway point right about now. So certainly those guys who are already suffering a lot on the tire wear could already think about swapping off to another set. But for some of these guys, especially the ones in front here, they could potentially keep running on this same set of tires and keep going past the halfway point of this race here, so that it can potentially go in a softer set once they get towards the end of this race here. That's Danesh now again trying to make a move onto Haris Zefri. Not quite able to make that move stick before the chicanes though, but he's able to stay close to Haris, so he might actually have an opportunity to attack again, but looks like he's going to go straight into pit stops now. So, oh boy, looks like it's going to be time for the pit strategies to start to come to the front.
Sangat-sangat interesting di situ. Kita nampak terus saja Danesh memasuki ke dalam pit stop. Dan seperti biasa, apa yang Nas kata seperti tadi, tire management is very important jika kita lihat interview dan sebagainya di dalam awal segmen di dalam perlumbaan ini. So kita tunggu dan lihat apakah cara-cara ataupun pit stop strategy yang dilakukan oleh para pelumba untuk hari ini, Victor.
Yeah, so they're switching off. I think there was a medium tire there onto Danesh. He's going to be coming out of the pits just behind Iqbal Suji, so pretty much going to have an opportunity now to actually fight against Iqbal here. So this is going to be exciting now, especially given that both of them are out on fresh tires. So this is going to be interesting, even though it's a fight for P8 here. This is a good opportunity here to see how these two drivers can actually fight. So keeping it very close, Iqbal Suji keeps the inside, keeps right up onto the curb here. Cameron actually is a little bit slow, so he's actually posing a bit of an obstacle here. And that's a half-second penalty here as Iqbal Suji gets past. Danesh also has a half-second penalty as well, trying to get past there. So no doubt, actually, he actually cut through some of the restriction sections of the track there. So unfortunately for Danesh, that means that he's gonna have to get rid of that penalty though before the end of the race.
Ya, penalti demi penalti kita nampak kejar, jangan tak kejar di situ. Danesh kini memberikan sedikit saingan untuk Iqbal Suji yang berada di dalam P ke-7. Kita tunggu dan lihat apakah bakal dilakukan. Kita terus saja ke dalam chicane. Tak lama lagi Iqbal Suji masih lagi berada di hadapan, dan Danesh yang kita lihat mengalami sedikit penalti di situ. Dan kita tunggu dan lihat bagaimana beliau akan manage, dan nampaknya jatuh ke belakang di situ, Victor. Dekat di hati tapi jauh di mata.
Yeah, I know. It looked like he was going to be able to catch up there, but
ada langgaran.
he touched the inside of the chicane and unfortunately ran a little bit wide there. So, yeah, better luck next time, my friend. It looks like he's going to have to both get rid of the penalty and regain some momentum here before he can think about going for another move against Iqbal. But that means for our friend, P4 seems to be pretty solidly in his hands, and he actually might have a chance at P3 very soon if Haris Zefri continues to slow down here.
Ya, kalau kita lihat P2 kini memiliki kepada Taj Aiman yang tak lama lagi akan memberikan sedikit cabaran untuk Alvin Chai. Tetapi kalau kita lihat, bukanlah satu pertanyaan yang besar, tetapi masih lagi mempunyai peluang di situ sebab kita berada di dalam 12 minit yang terakhir sebenarnya. Dan on board kita nampak Iqbal Suji kini berada di dalam P ke-4. Danesh pun jatuh terus ke dalam P ke-5. But the stakes are going to be in the top 5, Victor, even though in the last 12 minutes.
Haris Zefri actually picked up a bit of penalty points here, so I think the pressure is actually starting to get to him though, because cutting through some of the track limits here means that Haris is really trying to maximize whatever speed he can get in order to defend against Iqbal Suji, who actually ends up on the grass a little bit there. And that's actually costing him a little bit of time, but still he is able to keep up the chase here with Haris Zefri, so it's quite on the cards here for Iqbal to take P3 here if he can keep this up.
Yep, so kita lihat sekali lagi iaitu Alvin Chai on board yang kini berada di dalam P pertama jauh sebenarnya, dan Taj Aiman berada di dalam P kedua, dan di P3 adalah Haris Syami sebenarnya. I think this is a good moment for him to do his redemption there, Victor. Yeah. First race it was a nightmare, but now it's time for redemption.
Yeah, and hopefully you'll be able to keep this P3 position here, but Iqbal Suji is certainly putting up a big challenge with that right now, and Haris is actually doing quite well to slowly get rid of the penalty here by, braking a little bit harder through some of these corners, and by doing that slowly but surely you'll be able to get rid of the penalty point there. So in the end, it isn't going to affect your race too much, but especially for Haris though, he's going to have to play this very smart because Iqbal is very close by, and it looks like he's going to try to have a look on the outside here on this final turn. Haris unfortunately breaks it there, and Iqbal Suji slinks away to take P3 just before the chicanes.
Memang terbaik daripada Iqbal Suji, baru saja memintas Haris dan mengatakan I'll see you on the other side. Dan kini kita nampak on P5 iaitu Danish, dan tetapi belum lagi tamat persaingan antara Iqbal dan juga Haris sebab kita mempunyai 10 minit yang terakhir dan Danish kali ini ada penalti di situ, masih lagi mengekalkan penalti, but it's getting lower and lower di situ, Victor.
Yeah, should be able to get rid of it by the time the race ends. I mean, he's only like a tenth of a second left on his penalty there, so we're doing pretty well to get rid of it. Iqbal Suji now pulling away from Haris Zefri. I mean, just look at the amount of pace this guy has, you know, compared to the rest of the field. You know, we touch Ayman and Iqbal Suji seemingly, you know, on a race of their own here, trying to get to the front of the grid here. Taj Ayman's able to at least keep the gap between him and Alvin Chai down to 3.6 seconds. Granted, it's not that fast, but certainly it does mean that, you know, Taj Ayman has certainly a lot of pace, you know, when you compare him to everyone else now.
Ya, kalau kita lihat top 5 adalah benda yang sangat penting untuk para pelumba ini sebab points adalah satu benda yang sangat-sangat penting juga, dan kini kita nampak Danish yang berada di dalam P ke-5 masih lagi jauh sebenarnya daripada pelumba-pelumba yang lain yang berada di hadapan sebenarnya. Kita lihat Haris Zefri ataupun Haris Syami yang kita lihat baru saja dipintas oleh Iqbal Suji dalam P ke-3. Nampaknya di dalam P kedua. Oh, nampaknya siapa yang langgar di situ?
Haris.
Haris. Oh, that is not a good moment in my eye.
Yeah, I think that might be the same thing that happened with Danish earlier, where you just clip the inside of the chicane. You're going to see the replay right again here, and Haris goes through. Actually, no, he just went a little bit wide, and that was pretty much it. You know, just ended up on the grass, zero grip whatsoever, so pretty much couldn't avoid the wall before it was too late. So yeah, a bit weird there, but Haris, you know, he's got to be careful here because otherwise, you know, like you said, this is meant to be his redemption day right now. So you know, you better stay in that P4, my friend.
Yeah. Boleh mengatakan begitu juga Victor. So nampaknya 8 minit yang terakhir, Haris Syami yang kini berada di dalam P keempat. Baru saja kita nampak sedikit langgaran di situ, tapi benda ni kerap berlaku, especially in the chicane di dalam Lita Goodwood motor circuit ni. Satu chicane yang agak sempit dan juga semua para pelumba ni perlu memiliki teknik yang sangat-sangat tepat untuk melakukan braking di situ, Victor.
Yeah, gotta be very careful through there because it's, this is a very slidey moment there for Cameron James. Seems like his troubles are not quite done yet, but yeah, he's managed to recover pretty well. But unfortunately, running at the back of the pack here with a huge gap to make up for. That's pretty much race done, I'm afraid, for our friend here. So Muhammad Faisal, he had a pretty decent race in race number 1, but it doesn't seem like he's managed to find any sort of magic here in race 2, so pretty much stuck in the back. Daniel Voon as well, currently in the back of the grid here. Sam Wong having a 4/10 of a second penalty here. I wonder how he managed to pick that up. Muhammad Afif, it's a little bit off the pace here, but sitting in P6, that should be quite a bit of points here, and hopefully that might be enough to get him into grand finals. We can only find out once we already tabulated the points though, unfortunately.
Ya, kita tunggu dan lihat apakah yang akan jadi di dalam keputusan yang terakhir kepada siapa yang sedang menonton perlumbaan ini secara langsung. Selamat datang kepada Toyota Gazoo Racing Velocity Esports Championship. Ini adalah semi-final Group A race kedua, dan kini kita nampak Haris Syami yang berada di dalam P4 diikuti oleh Iqbal Suji yang berada di dalam P ketiga, dan di P kedua adalah Taj Aiman, dan di dalam P pertama adalah Alvin Chai. So ini dia yang akan kita tunggu dan lihat apakah yang akan jadi sebenarnya, sebab saya memang tidak boleh menentukan siapakah yang akan jadi the top 5 sebab di dalam perlumbaan ini apapun bakal berlaku. So nampaknya it is still what it is in this position, but it can change over time, Victor.
It could change if any one of his drivers ends up losing too much grip, or someone makes a mistake and ends up dropping positions. But right now, you know, Alvin Chai, even though he's the gap between him and Taj Ayman seems to be closing, I doubt it's going to close fast enough there for Taj Ayman to actually take away P1 here. So I think he pretty much is doing well, keeping his pace quite high up there, you know, to maintain his lead. But with Taj Ayman and Iqbal Suji, you know, they made their way from the back of the grid all the way towards P2 and P3 respectively. I mean, what else is there left to say? These guys are just so fast, aren't they?
Yeah, itu adalah salah satu faktor yang sangat sangat-sangat baik sebenarnya daripada pelumba-pelumba yang kita lihat di dalam race pertama juga, yang memberikan satu saingan yang sangat-sangat tepat dan baik. Dan di dalam race kedua juga mereka boleh mengatakan start dari grid yang agak belakang tetapi kini berada di dalam top 5. That is very impressive actually, Victor.
Yeah, and again, we've seen them from the past seasons of the Velocity Championship, so we know these guys are just super talented. So I really, every time I see Iqbal and Taj Ayman race, I'm always continuously impressed.
Yep, so Iqbal Suji baru saja melepasi the chicane di situ dan terus saja ke dalam seleko Madwick dan diikuti oleh Haris yang berada di dalam P keempat. Kita tunggu dan lihat bagaimana pula keputusan untuk Haris Syami, sebab di dalam race pertama beliau mengalami sedikit masalah yang besar sebab terus pun jatuh ke dalam tangga yang bukan yang baik sebenarnya untuk beliau, dan kini berada di dalam top 5. So it's a good moment. Harapnya beliau akan mengekalkan posisi ini hingga tamat perlumbaan ini. So nampaknya masih lagi Haris yang kini berada di dalam P4. P5 dimiliki kepada Danish Wigneshwaran dan diikuti oleh Muhammad Afif ataupun lebih dikenali sebagai Taichi Yagami. So ini dia Haris masih lagi memberi sedikit tekanan untuk Iqbal Suji. Kita terus saja ke dalam 11 corner di situ, Victor. Kita tunggu dan lihat apakah bakal berlaku, sebab for now the gaps between all the cars are pretty much far ahead, Victor.
Pretty far, but again, the closest two cars right now are literally the two you're seeing on screen right now, Haris Zefri and Iqbal Suji, who I should note as well that Iqbal's tire wear is actually a little bit higher compared to Haris Zefri, so we can definitely see that's the reason why Haris is able to catch up now to Iqbal at this stage. So there could be a potential for Haris to actually get past Iqbal to take P3 away. There's still plenty of time left in this race. There's still 4 minutes left, so at least 2 to 3 laps to go here before we're going to see the end of this race. So in fact, we're already seeing another challenge for positions here between Sam Wong and Daniel Wu, and it's going to be a battle for P7 now. And again, every single point is going to matter, so that's why we still want to fight for positions even at this far back in the grid.
Ya, lawan jangan tak lawan, boleh katakan sebegitu jaga. So nampaknya di dalam P8 itu Sam Wong, dan kita lihat apakah yang akan jadi di dalam battle untuk P7 seperti apa Victor kata sebentar tadi. So kita tunggu dan lihat di dalam P pertama itu Alvin Chai masih lagi mengekalkan posisi yang cukup baik. Ini dia Haris di dalam P keempat, dikejar oleh Danish kalau tak silap saya, masih lagi mengekalkan posisi yang cukup baik, defending yang cukup baik walaupun jarak yang agak jauh, tetapi masih lagi mengikuti racing lane yang cukup baik di situ, tidak memberikan sedikit peluang untuk Danish mendekati beliau di situ, Victor.
Yeah, Haris right now just keeping within the slipstream of Iqbal Suji, so he's doing very well to keep within half a second of Iqbal all throughout here, which is going to be crucial, so that should Iqbal make a mistake anywhere, pretty much Haris is in the best position here to capitalize the moment that happens. But for now though, he's actually doing very well, keeping up the pace here with Iqbal, so I'm not expecting any changes so far, but Haris is actually closing up the gap now to Iqbal, so there might be a potential for an overtaking move here if Haris can just set it up here in this next few laps.
Ya, ada juga potensi di situ untuk Haris. Dan Iqbal masih lagi mengekalkan racing line yang cukup baik di situ, tidak mempertahankan posisi juga. Tetapi apa yang sangat menarik sebenarnya, di dalam race pertama Haris melakukan kesilapan bila mengejar Danish, tetapi kali ini di dalam race ini Danish pula yang mengejar Haris. So it's a turn of the table sebenarnya. But let's see what's going to happen. Kita lihat Alvin Chai yang kini berada di dalam P pertama, dan nampaknya Taj Ayman somehow made it close to Alvin Chai di situ. That is very impressive. Dan kita terus saja ke dalam 11 corner. Alvin Chai masih lagi mempertahankan posisi beliau, dan nampaknya kelihatan daripada Taj Ayman di dalam garisan yang keluar. Dan kita tunggu dan lihat apakah yang bakal berlaku di dalam 11 straight. Terus saja nampaknya. Dan nampaknya Taj Ayman sudah pun memintas Alvin Chai terus saja ke Sleko Woodcourt. That was impressive by Taj Ayman.
Again, our champion from last season, taking his place in pole position, even though his tires and his fuel situation is so low. I mean, pretty much I think he saw the race is going to be ending very, very soon. I still got a little bit of performance here. Why not just spend it all right now and take that first spot? Well done here, Touch Aiman. Well done.
Yes, absolutely marvelous daripada Touch Aiman yang kini berada di dalam P pertama. Beliau start the race agak belakang sebenarnya, agak jauh di belakang sebenarnya, tetapi in this last moments beliau pun terus memintas Alvin Chai. Boleh mengatakan sedang melakukan holiday move all this while, tetapi that last moment we know who it is, Touch Aiman yang kini berada di dalam P pertama. What a talented racer, man.
I know, right? I mean, again, he didn't need to win this race here. Again, he was already pretty much qualified, even if he finished in P5. But, Touch Aiman being Touch Aiman, he still wanted a win no matter what. So he just went for it and he got it.
Yeah, you can say that again. So nampaknya di dalam P4 persaingan antara Haris dan juga Iqbal Suji. Kita lihat bagaimana pula kali ini Iqbal Suji mengikut sebenarnya berada di dalam hadapan sebenarnya Haris yang berada di dalam garisan yang keluar. Kita tunggu dah lihat apakah yang bakal berlaku. Kita terus saja ke dalam Sliko Woodcourt. Dan ini adalah satu momen ataupun potensi yang cukup baik untuk Haris memintas di situ. Tapi agak jauh sebenarnya. Adakah ini peluang yang baik untuk Haris? Tapi Iqbal Suji defended really well. But it's not over yet. Kita terus saja ke chicane. Bagaimana pula di chicane? Dan masih lagi Haris. Tetapi Iqbal, he just know what he's doing there, man.
Yeah, it's the final lap. Touch Aiman comes across the line to take the win here in race number 2. Alvin Chai takes P2. Iqbal Suji stays ahead of Haris Zefri. The final battle there has concluded there for P3 and P4. Muhammad Afif will take the 5th position here, coming across the line now ahead of Danesh, who is down in P6. Then we got Muhammad Faisal, who should be coming across the line now to take P7 ahead of Daniel Boone and Sam Wong, who are bumper to bumper against each other to take P8 and P9. And last but not least, give a little bit of a hand here to our fellow Sarawakian here, Cameron James. He started in front, unfortunately had to finish in the back, but at least he had finished.
Yeah, he finished the race, of course, there, man. But what a race! Dan nampaknya it's a very impressive race daripada semua para pelumba ni. Kita lihat seperti biasa Touch Aiman. In the first race, he was not in the P1, but now, man, the podium is memiliki kepada beliau terus. Yeah.
It's pretty much in his hands here. So again, congratulations to Touch Aiman for taking the win yet again in race number 2. And we'll be putting him ahead of Alvin Chai, Iqbal Suji in P3, Haris Zefri in P4, and Muhammad Afif in P5, Danesh in P6, Muhammad Faisal P7, Daniel Vu P8, Sam Wong P9, Cameron James P10. And that is your lineup for race number 2.
Oh, I mean, my heart is pounding watching the race, man. It was so interesting, so impressive. But what is amazing about these races is that Touch Aiman, Iqbal, they all started at the back there, Victor. But mereka memiliki teknik yang baik, skill yang baik, terus berada di dalam top 5.
Yeah,
that is, I have no words to put it actually, but this is all I can say.
It's just the vast difference, right, in the skill between both Touch Aiman and Iqbal Suji compared to everyone else. I mean, when you consider that their pace is just that much higher compared to everyone else, you just wonder, what does it really take to beat these guys, on the racetrack. But credit where it's due. These guys, they practice very hard. You can only imagine the hundreds of hours they spent in these games, to find the ideal line, to really maximize their average speed through these laps. So really, all of that practice all culminates here in this one final moment.
Ya, satu perlumbaan yang cukup baik. So, jadi jom kita akan bersama dengan Nas yang akan melakukan lintasan hormat bersama dengan para pelumba. So, let's go. Nas, my man, take it away.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Victor. And I echo your sentiments. What a race! Berdudap-dudap jantungku macam motorboat begitu. Dan congratulations to Touch Aiman. Wow, running an awesome race all the way from the back of the grid and moving all the way to number 1. Touch, what are you feeling right now?
Rasa gemuruh sebab tadi dah buat silap masa first race tu. Second race ni Alhamdulillah lah dapat dalam podium.
Jadi adakah anda rasa walaupun Alvin Chai telah jauh di sana, did you always know that ini saya boleh makan ni, tak ada masalah?
Sebenarnya strategi tu memang saya cuba untuk save tayar. Sebab dengan kereta yang macam GT 300 ni memang dia kuat snap oversteer. So kat situ dia akan tire wear akan main the factor lah kat situ.
Inilah dia what separates the men from the boys, experience. Jadi strategi yang sangat menjadi pada saat ini. Perasaan anda tentang berlumba dengan kereta vintage seperti Toyota 2000 GT ini. Saya tengok body roll dia. Saya tanya Muhammad Iqbal tadi pun, dia kata body roll dia dahsyat. Pendapat Taj tentang perlumbaan ini dan jentera yang anda gunakan.
Kereta saya gunakan tadi tu amat susah untuk kawal lah sebab dia kena save tire wear, and lepas tu fuel, dan kita nak kena judge dengan orang yang depan kan, kompetitor tu agak susah jugalah untuk manage semua benda ni.
Saya nak tanya satu soalan kepada former champion yang insyaAllah kalau berpeluang akan menjadi champion lagi sekali. Jadi siapakah lawan terdekat anda? Do you look at the person in front? Do you do your homework as to who are the racers that you should be contending with?
Saya rasa semua kompetitor yang masuk dalam semi-final ni semua lawan saya. Semua laju and diorang semua berbakat, dah lama main SIM. So ya, semua lawan saya.
Rupanya champion kita masih rendah diri begitu. Alhamdulillah. Alright, so that was race 1 and race 2. Moving on to race 3. Apakah strategi yang anda boleh kongsi setakat ini?
Race 3 strategi dia mungkin saya akan, kalau saya start di belakang, mungkin saya akan cuba pakai medium atau saya cuba untuk save tire. So kat situ kita tengoklah macam mana dengan position tu.
Race 1 second place points dah ada di sana. Race 2 first place points dah ada di sana. Sebenarnya kalau anda relax je race 3 pun, insyaAllah anda akan berjaya ke grand final. Jadi macam mana, nak ambil sambil relax saja, nak simpan tenaga, ataupun all out seperti Taj Aiman yang kita tahu?
Kalau boleh all out lah. Cuba yang selagi yang boleh. Sebab semua tengah fight nak masuk top 5 kalau boleh top final.
Bagus, inilah semangat yang kita hendak. I'm telling you, watching you race virtually is just as exciting if I see you on the track as well. Ada cita-cita nak race di track yang betul one day?
Kalau boleh ya. Ada pengalaman sebab saya memang betul-betul, saya ingat saya nak cuba dalam river jugalah.
Kalau dah unggul di arena digital, apa lagi? Tiba masanya untuk anda menyahut cabaran. I will see you on the Sepang track one day, Taj Aiman, insyaAllah.
Terima kasih.
Okey, terima kasih. Itulah dia pemenang race kedua, Taj Aiman. And of course, he's the racer everyone's been watching out for, and he has pretty much fulfilled all expectations. Well, how will he do in race 3, dan apakah reaksi daripada pelumba-pelumba yang lain untuk melayakkan diri ke grand final kita? InsyaAllah, saya Nazruddin Rahman, kita berehat seketika, dan apabila kita kembali, race 3 to determine our top 5 from semi-final 1. Who will advance to the grand finals? Semuanya selepas ini. Sementara itu, apa kata kita lihat highlights daripada race 2 yang sangat mengujakan hati. Silakan.
Right, yeah. Let's go ahead and check out the highlights one more time now for race number 2. It started off very, very clean, you know. Cameron J, you know, he started in the front of the grid, but unfortunately a mistake allowed Alvin Chai to get past, and eventually he ended up in the back there thanks to a crash around Matchwick corner. Then following that, we saw an impressive run here, both from Taj Aiman as well as Iqbal Suji, fighting their way from the back of the grid all the way to the front. Iqbal Suji getting past there was pretty much one of the highlights here in race number 2.
Ya, kalau kita lihat highlight ni juga, Victor, ada juga beberapa moment yang kita nampak biasanya ada sedikit langgaran antara few of the races, but we leave that to the race director untuk decide apakah penalti ataupun benda-benda lain yang boleh bakal berlaku di dalam perlumbaan ini. But it was a fantastic racing untuk Taj Aiman dan juga the rest of the gang, which is Iqbal Suji, and this was a really good move daripada Taj Aiman.
Yeah, a move where like he basically reclaimed pole position here from Alvin Chai to finish off race number 2. And again, what an impressive performance here from our defending champion in this Velocity Esports Championship. So, ladies and gentlemen, We're going to be going ahead to tabulate the final results here after 2 races. So Taj Aiman is going to be in the lead now with 43 points in front of Muhammad Iqbal. So it's 43 to 40 points. So that means that battle for the lead here in Group A could go down to the wire.
Oh, definitely, man. And Danish di dalam P ketiga dengan only 23 points. Di P4 we see Alvin Chai with 22 points. Haris Syami di P6, minta maaf, di dalam P5 hingga ke P6 akan kongsi mata bersama dengan Mawar Afif dengan 18 mata. Dan di dalam P7 kita nampak Daniel Voon akan kongsi mata bersama dengan Muhammad Faizal Azizi di P7 dan 8 dengan 16 mata yang sama. Dan di P9 kita nampak Wong Bun Sam dengan 4 mata. And lastly, untuk Cameron Chidi James with only 1 point, my man.
Yeah, and looking at the points here, it's really close here, especially for the guys from the 5th position onwards down. It's going to be a very tight fight all throughout. Let's go ahead and jump back to our host Nas to continue on with the show.
Thank you, Victor. Thank you, man. And there you are, the standings so far as we've gone into race 1 and race 2. And as Victor said earlier, it's P5. That's the spot that everybody is gunning for to get that place in the grand final and a piece of the prize pool, 70,000 ringgit. So congratulations once again to Taj Aiman coming in second first race and first in the second race. Well, like I said earlier, as we spoke to him, he can actually afford to sort of take his foot off the virtual pedal. But knowing Taj Aiman, knowing the racer that he is, he's going to go all out, ladies and gentlemen. So we're going to take a quick break right here at the Toyota GR Velocity Esports Championship 2021. Race 3 is coming up. What cars will they be driving and what is the track? Here's a little hint. We're bringing you down under. When we come back, I'm Nazmuddin Rahman. We'll see you right after this.
Shot again. Oh, that's a big hit. That's a big hit there. And the moment it crashed out, that would be the end of the race for sure. Oh, Eric Young, that's a very bad slide there. And that certainly is going to cost him a lot of time.
It's all right. Tapi tidak apa, kita fokus pada race. Nombor 11.
Talitatan.
Ya, Talitatan. Sedikit kita nampak kontak daripada beliau. Tapi tidak apa. 16 lap to go sebenarnya dalam perlumbaan ini di promotional class. Oh, nampaknya sprint daripada nombor 83, iaitu Nabil Ahmad. Izan Razak kekal berada di P1 dan ini adalah satu Momen yang sangat-sangat terbaik di situ. Oh, terkena langgar nampaknya. Itu kereta bernombor 24. Itu Syukri Yahya kehilangan posisi beliau. Nampaknya pusingan daripada kereta nombor 18. Itu Jana Nick. Aduh, kehilangan.
Yeah, it looks like he has to go a little bit wide here. That actually gives a little bit of opportunity for car number 4, Amir Harris, to try to attack him around the outside. No! Someone has gone backwards on the track to contact here between car 25 and 27. That's Troy Iman and Putra Adam, and they're left stranded here at T1.
Welcome back, dear viewers. You are watching Race 3 of Semi-Final 1. This is the Toyota GR Velocity Esports Championship 2021. And we just saw the highlights of Toyota Gazoo Racing Season 1 promotion class as well. Your favorite Toyota Gazoo Racing celebrities going neck in neck, and some of the thrills and spills that we can expect. And insyaAllah, kita akan kembali ke Lita Sepang suatu hari nanti. Maybe closer than you think. So, keep your eyes and your ears peeled. Meanwhile, we concentrate on this virtual race that we're having now, Malaysia's largest simulation racing event. And now, as we go on to race 3, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be heating up. Of course, we saw Taj Aiman, Malaysia's winner for the past 2 seasons, raising the temperatures in race 1, second place, and of course in race 2, he's managed to get pole. And now we go into race 3. What cars will they be racing? Well, we'll let the commentators tell you more about it. Meanwhile, we're going to take you all the way to Australia, baby, virtually, of course. So it's over to you, Victor and Matthews.
Alright, terima kasih Nas, dan pada anda selamat datang dan selamat sejahtera. Dan ini adalah Toyota Gazoo Racing Velocity Esports Championship. Anda bersama saya, Matthews Isaac. Dan sebelah saya adalah Victor Gas yang akan mengulas dalam bahasa Inggeris, dan saya akan menggunakan bahasa Melayu. But man, what a race it has been. Di dalam race pertama dan juga race kedua. And this is the moment, the final deciding race, my man.
Yeah, it's going to come down to this last one here. So we already had 2 races here. They've already collected lots of points. But then now, this final race here is going to determine who are going to be the 5 who will be entering the exhibition race tomorrow. So this time around, we're going to be racing down under here in Bathurst in Mount Panorama. It is referred to as the Nordschleife of Australia, pretty much because it is just like the Nordschleife in Germany. You know, it's a very tight, very old circuit. It's also a public road, you know, when it's not serving as a site for racing. So again, a very, very interesting place here to fight, and combined there with the new car they're going to be driving here, you know, it's going to be a modern car this time around. It's going to be way faster and hopefully a lot more familiar for our top 10 drivers.
Alright, so kita akan lihat sedikit tentang track dan juga kereta yang akan digunakan oleh para pelumba. But in the meantime, jom kita akan lintas hormat bersama dengan Nas dan juga para pelumba misteri. Let's have a look. Let's go.
We are going to go one-on-one with our TGR celebrities. Who do we have on the virtual stage for all of you? Saya bakal berbicara dengan Syukri Yahya, Wani Hasrita dan Kai Baha. Assalamualaikum, geng.
Waalaikumsalam, geng.
Jadi setakat ni dah race di track yang betul dan race di virtual track. Mana satu menjadi pilihan Wani Hasrita?
Dua-dua. Sebab first saya tak suka sangat yang virtual, sebab dia macam susah nak control. Macam sikit je dia je dia akan macam banyak mengimpor kan. Tapi lama-lama saya rasa macam I'm getting used to it. Tapi sama lah kot, sama. Tapi yang paling best of course lah secara reality lah kan. Baru kita rasa kita rasa panas tu berpeluh kan dalam suit semua.
Kita dapat rasa jalan raya tu kan. Itu yang paling puas hati ya. Macam mana pula dengan Kai Baha? Virtual ataupun reality?
Oh, saya dua-dua saya suka. sebab dua-dua saya orang kata pro lah. Alright.
Tu dia.
Okay, tak adalah. Actually dua-dua ada orang kata kelebihan sendiri. Alright. So saya lebih prefer kepada yang race betul-betul lah. Okay, sebab kita dapat angin luar dia kan. Bila virtual ni dia lebih kepada kita kena practice lebih sikit lah.
Okey, sebab dia tak menggunakan 100% kita punya tenaga kat situ, tak seperti yang betul-betul kita race. Jadi dia ada macam ada dia punya ni lah, dia punya kelebihan dia sikit lah.
So kalau tak keluar peluh tak best lah.
Dia tak keluar peluh tak best. Macam betul-betul keluar terus basah macam mandi tau.
Betul.
Berat pun turun.
Saya pernah nampak korang bertiga turun daripada kereta, semuanya basah lencun begitu. Jadi Kai Bahar telah melakukan prestasi yang terbaik untuk First League kita. Apa placing you Apa placing you?
Okey, sebenarnya benda tu saya rasa nasib saya je. Okey, sebab time tu saya memang dah cuak gila dengan Syukri Yahya, dengan Nabil semua kan. Jadi bila dah ada peluang situ, saya belasah je lah.
Belasah je lah.
Senang bang.
Shoot.
Senang bang.
Jadi Syukri Raya nampaknya tercabar sebab Kai Bahar tiba-tiba pintas dia begitu saja kan. Jadi tercabar lah tu.
Senang bang. Bukan dia pintas, dia menang senang.
Itu semua nasib pertandingan, adat pertandingan Syukri.
Betul,
Tapi
betul,
sekarang
betul,
ni nak
betul.
tanya awak pula, antara real life racing dan juga virtual racing di TGR Velocity, mana satu yang menjadi pilihan Syukri?
Kalau untuk pilihan saya race real lah. Tapi kalau zaman-zaman pandemik sekarang ni virtual lah bang.
Virtual is the way to go. Tapi sekarang ni nak lihat kehebatan anda semua. On track memang dah terbukti lah. Tapi kalau rasa virtual ni ada peluang tak untuk dapat nombor 1?
Ada.
Tanya aku tau.
I tanya tiga-tiga. I tanya
Okey, ada.
tiga-tiga.
Kita kata ada.
Siapa
Rasa ada abang sebab kat rumah dia ada ni tau. Semua kerja ada.
Sebab apa? Kita rasa kita orang boleh menang sebab kita gain dua-dua experience. Kita orang boleh quality dan kita boleh kat virtual. Kita adapt, masukkan satu, boom. Abang rasa tak boleh menang.
Tapi ada orang mengatakan bahawa Syukri Yahya sebenarnya dia ada full rig kat rumah. Dia ada TV besar, dia ada PS5 semua, dia ada siap kerusi semua. Dia berlatih 8 jam sehari. Betul ke?
Dia dah jadi sebenarnya bang. Musik racing ni almost 4 years. Saya putih tu tiba.
I like it.
Masa mula-mula saya masuk TGR masa kerja. Saya dah boleh dengan racing ni lah. So masa first season lagi saya dah beli race saya sendiri lah. Daripada yang biasa saya rasa dah macam paling best yang saya ada lah. Hanya start PKP baru saya beli tak ada. Kalau abang tanya yang mana season 1, daripada season 1 memang saya dah guna virtual race untuk saya practice bila actual race nanti.
Itulah dia orang kata kecekalan Syukri Yahya. Dia siap beli rigging tu sebenarnya untuk training. Okey, sekarang ni untuk kita wrap up ucapan untuk peminat-peminat anda menjelang exhibition race nanti. Wani.
Ya saya. Jangan lupa tengok rakan-rakan saya berlumba secara virtual. Walaupun saya tak berlumba tapi tak apa. Harap-haraplah ada peluang untuk kita berlumba set up dekat rumah.
Ada.
Dan untuk nak ingatkan korang supaya stay safe, jaga diri, jaga SOP. Siapa-siapa yang dah dapatkan vaksin tu, you're the best.
Begitu. Well done Wani. Kai Bahar, macam mana pula ucapan untuk peminat?
Frontliner dia.
Okey, first kali kepada semua yang berlumba, good luck. Okey, buat yang terbaik. Alright, so kepada semua penyokong jangan lupa untuk saksikan race secara virtual. And you guys take care, stay safe, okay?
Thank you very much Kai Bahar. Akhir sekali, Syukri Yahya macam mana?
Sama je macam dia bang. Senang pun je. Okey, saya nak ucapkan benda yang sama sebenarnya. Good luck pada semua yang join virtual race nanti. Dan semua punya penyokong untuk celebrity class, sokonglah saya.
itu mesti masuk. Itulah dia gaya Syukri Yahya kita. Thank you so much to our TGR celebrities. Terima kasih, dah lama tak jumpa korang. Semoga satu hari nanti kita jumpa on track. Yes.
Allah.
InsyaAllah, amin. Alright, that's all we have for our first session. More TGR celebrities coming your way. Meanwhile, it's back to the studio.
Alright, so nampaknya satu lintasan hormat yang cukup baik bersama dengan celebrity racers kita Wani Asrita, Kai Bahar dan juga Syukri Yaya. So that was really amazing talk from them. Kita pernah nampak mereka melumba sebenarnya. We saw in the previous races all this while in the Toyota Gazoo Racing seasons. So it's amazing to have celebrities as well. But in the track there, Victor.
Yeah, I mean, it's literally having like people to get that first-hand experience of what it's like, being behind the wheel. But it's also at the same time kind of refreshing to see them, outside of their cars, as opposed to how I normally see them, which is usually bumping and crashing into each other on track.
I mean, where's the fun, right?
Yeah, exactly. So.
Alright, so jadi kita akan mulakan race ketiga tak lama lagi. So in the meantime, kita akan memberikan anda sedikit info tentang kereta. We have an expert next to me, which is Victor, who knows A to Z about the car. So Victor, talk us through a little bit about this car that we're going to use, because it's not going to be a vintage car. Now we are back to the future, back to the modern era. Let's go.
Yeah, from the blast from the past, it's now back to the future here. This is the GR Supra racing concept. So this is what a GR Supra would look like if you're completely unrestrained and just put in all the mods you can and just make it the absolute beast that it is. 591 brake horsepower, 500 Newton meters of torque, so you know it's a really powerful machine, and really, really perfect, because this track here is going to need every last bit of those horsies in order to complete the laps here.
What a unique car, man. I mean, like, I'm really interested to see how the racers are going to adapt in this track. So, talking about track, jom kita lihat apakah track yang kita akan gunakan. Itu dia Bathurst, ataupun lebih dikenali sebagai Mount Panorama, yang berada di New Wales, Australia. So, itu dia dengan circuit length iaitu 6.2 km. And what is the most interesting fact about this track? Ia memiliki seleko dengan nama yang cukup unik. Nama-nama seleko tu memang unik. It has various of names, mempunyai 23 seleko, 23 turns, and all 23 corners and turns have special names.
Yeah, they have their own names, their own stories, and this track has so much history as well. They run the 1,000 Bathurst here every single year, and it's pretty much a race to the top of the Mount Panorama and then a race back down of it again and all throughout. So pretty much the best place here to really test the might of our drivers here in the Supra racing concept. And just like race number 2, it is going to be a half-hour race. We're going to give them 5 minutes in order to do a time attack qualifier. Just like race number 2, they will have to make a pit stop in this race here, and they will have to use either one of the racing hards or the racing mediums at least once during this race here. And just like the others, we have balance performance turned on, no tuning is allowed, so that means it's going to be pretty much a fair and even fight for all 10 of our drivers.
Yeah, so itu dia, kita dah lihat dah info tentang track dan juga jentera yang akan digunakan oleh para pelumba, and I'm really excited to see apa yang bakal berlaku sebenarnya. But I am really impressed to see what's going to happen, man.
Yeah, I can't wait to see either how this is going to turn out, because having to adjust, after having driven the 2000 GT now to a modern car with actual downforce, with stiff suspension and lots of grip in the tires, it's going to be a bit of an adjustment for our drivers to contend with later on.
Yeah, so hanya 5 pelumba yang akan memasuki ke dalam Grand Final, but so far the names are pretty much written. Some of them is already written, but ada juga peluang untuk para pelumba yang lain untuk berada di dalam Grand Final. What is your take so far on all the races there, Victor?
Yeah, I mean, it's still pretty much opportunities for these guys, especially from 5th place onwards in the points right now in this group, to actually get into the finals here, because 5th place and 6th place is still tied right now in points, same as well with 7 and 8. So I think all it takes right now is just a really good performance in this final race here to really propel these guys into the grand final. So enough rambling right about now, ladies and gentlemen. It is go time now for qualifying here, and it's very bright and sunny here. It's 5:30 a.m. here in Mount Panorama, so it's nice and cool and chill as you hear the engines roar through the hills. Iqbal Suji leading the pack right right now to start off this qualifying.
Yep, so ini dia. Kita akan tunggu dan lihat. Kita ada 5 minit untuk qualifier. So kita tunggu dan lihat siapakah yang akan mendapat timing yang cukup baik dan berada di dalam grid yang cukup baik juga. Dan another fakta yang agak interesting dia dari segi lita yang digunakan ini, iaitu Mount Panorama, adalah seleko-seleko yang sangat tajam sebenarnya, especially bila kita pergi downhill dari skyline sampai ke Forest Elbow. Jangan tanya kenapa Forest Elbow, bahu hutan, saya pun tidak tahu kenapa, but man, he has the facts behind all the corners over here.
It's literally called Forest's Elbow because a motorcycle racer named Forrest scraped his elbow there once. Literally, that's the only reason why they call it Forest Elbow. Oh! Harry Zeffrey again finding himself against the wall. That's another damage done to his bumper, and not a good look here, especially doing this qualifying here, man. You need your car to be in tip-top condition here to run your flying laps here, my man.
Yeah, this is the moment where you go downhill bila kita turun bukit di situ, dan kita akan melalui sedikit seleko seperti ular sebenarnya, kiri dan ke kanan, dan anda kena memiliki teknik yang cukup baik untuk to hit the apex properly, and this is the moment where it's going to give all the racers a little bit of a challenge, sebab that corner tu, it's very tight and very sempit sebenarnya, Victor.
Yeah, it's so easy to make a mistake through the whole section in the dipper. So really, it's going to be a huge test of consistency for these drivers here. You know, normally, on Bathurst, when you run the 1,000 miles, it's an endurance race here. For our drivers, they only need to last through this race for half an hour. So really, they're just getting a much easier deal, I would have to say, for most people who actually have to compete here in Bathurst.
Yeah, so nampaknya penyokong-penyokong yang kita lihat di dalam on-screen sudah pun berada di atas lita. Dan kepada anda yang sedang menonton ni, I hope you guys are ready, sebab kita ni akan memasuki ke dalam race tak lama lagi. Ini adalah qualifiers untuk race ketiga untuk Group A sebenarnya. Dan another interesting fact is, lita ini mempunyai jalan raya dan juga kawasan perumahan sebenarnya. Dan ini adalah salah satu faktor kenapa lita ini agak unik dan juga lain daripada lain, Victor.
Yeah, pretty much when this track is not being used as a racetrack, it's pretty much a public road. You can literally drive on it if you want to during the non-race days. So right now, Iqbal Suji is currently in the middle of his flying lap. He's just about gotten past getting through the uphill section here. Now should be getting up towards the skyline very soon. This is a very fast section, and Iqbal Suji is doing very well to keep his lines nice and tidy through here. Should be coming up towards the skyline right about now. This is the highest point on the circuit, and from here it's all downhill through the dipper. Very critical section here. Iqbal has to be very clean through here, nails the apex very well, gets up against the walls, and makes sure that he gets through this section nice and clean. Finally comes around towards the final corner. This is the Forest's Elbow, and now it's going to be downhill all the way through the Conrad Straight.
Yep, so nampaknya itu dia Iqbal Suji yang kini berada di hadapan sebenarnya daripada pelumba-pelumba yang lain. Let's hope he can hit up a really good timing di situ. And on the meantime, kita tunggu dan lihat apakah yang bakal jadi. Hanya 1 minit saja ada di dalam qualifier ni, Victor.
Yeah, and pretty much you're only going to have enough time to set one flying lap. So pretty much this is going to be it here, ladies and gentlemen. Iqbal Suji should be coming across the line very soon here to take his time, and whether or not it's going to be enough to stay in front, that's going to remain to be seen. Let's see what the time is going to be for Iqbal Suji as he comes across the line. It's going to be 2 minutes, almost exactly 2 minutes. Well, that's really impressive, because the last time someone was able to set a time under 2 minutes, that was a world record.
World record, Aduh, so itu dia 30 saat yang terakhir. Well, so far Taj Aiman is still behind Iqbal di situ, Victor.
Yeah, he's actually a little bit behind Taj Aiman, but only by a tenth of a second, so it's not that far behind. We still got a few more seconds to go, so they can still run one more flying lap, and pretty much Taj Aiman is going to be going for it right about now, riding up the curves very aggressively here, trying to take up every last bit of track here in order to maximize his speed through this corner. Coming around towards the cutting route about now. It's very nice and tidy here for Taj Aiman. He needs to be able to maximize his speed through this sector here in order to set a good time.
Yep, so kita lihat sekali lagi itu touch Aiman masih lagi berada di hadapan dengan timing yang cukup baik sebenarnya untuk meletakkan beliau di dalam top 5. Oh, itu dia. Seperti yang kita mengatakan sebentar tadi, litak ini agak sempit sebenarnya dan saya pun sendiri agak mengalami sedikit masalah untuk membawa kereta di sini. I have tried before on a virtually actually and it was a nightmare for me, Victor.
Yeah, you can only imagine how tough it is, for our top drivers here. That's why these guys are the best at what they do here, ladies and gentlemen. So Taj Aiman now coming through Forrest's elbow. He's going to be able to finish his flying lap. I really want to see who's going to be able to set a good time. Look at that. Taj Aiman setting a good sector 2 there. That's the fastest sector 2 we've seen from anyone so far. He's also setting a very fast sector 2 here as well. Look at that sector 3 as well.
Yeah.
Getting purple all throughout. We might be seeing Taj Aiman take pole position here. He can just keep it all together as he comes through the chase.
Yep, so nampaknya itu dia touch Aiman dengan timing yang cukup baik. All sectors there, Victor.
Yeah,
di dalam sektor kedua, ketiga dan di dalam sektor keempat juga, it's just perfect for him.
It looks like it might be pole position here. Taj Aiman comes across the line, and yes, it is going to be pole position here, and only by fractions of a second. Literally, it's less than a 10th of a second ahead of Iqbal Suji. So, wow, that's a very impressive time here from Taj Aiman.
Yes, timing yang cukup baik dan Iqbal Suji juga yang kini berada di dalam grid start yang kedua, diikuti oleh Muhammad Afif di dalam grid start yang ketiga. Cameron this time made it all the way to number 4 there, Victor.
Woo, that
is impressive. Very, very impressive compared to the first 2 races. Hopefully, it's a redemption moment just like Haris had just now. So, untuk di dalam P5, kita nampak Daniel Voon juga mencipta satu timing yang cukup baik berada di dalam top 5 of the race grid. So kita akan masuk ke dalam perlumbaan tak lama lagi. This is going to be one exciting final deciding race for the semi-finals, Victor.
Yeah, for our semi-finalists here, this is their last shot to get into the finals now, so they're going to have to finish as high up as possible here to maximize their chances of getting into the finals. So, well, really, there's a lot to talk about here because with Taj Aiman and Iqbal Suji taking the front row here, I'm pretty sure that they're going to be racing each other very hard here in this final semi-final race.
Yeah, so jadi kita akan masuk ke dalam perlumbaan yang tak lama lagi. Selepas lampu pun akan dipadamkan. So itu dia, kita dah nampak dah grid start yang cukup baik. Semua berada di dalam grid yang masing-masing mencipta timing yang baik. So kita akan mulakan race ini tak lama lagi. And this is going to be really interesting to see siapa yang akan jadi juara di dalam race ini. So, kita tunggu dan lihat. So nampaknya lampu pun sudah dipadamkan. And let's go racing on tak on. Dan nampaknya Iqbal Suji kini berada di hadapan dengan satu start yang cukup baik. Kita tunggu dan lihat apakah akan jadi di dalam seleko ini. Dan nampaknya satu seleko yang cukup baik. The Hell sebenarnya dan Taj Aiman diikut oleh Cameron James di dalam P3. Dan diikuti rapat oleh Afif. Dan di P5 adalah Alvin Chai. Dan sekali lagi terlihat on screen itu Daniel Voon yang berada di dalam top 6 di situ, diikuti oleh Danish dan juga Sam Wong di dalam P8 di situ, Victor.
That's a beautiful start there for Iqbal Suji to take the lead right off the bat. We have Muhammad Faisal now trying to fight against Haris Zefri at the back there, but unfortunately he can't quite make the move stick there, so he's going to be stuck in P10 for now. But looking at the line of cars coming up the hill right about now, they've gone through the cutting here. Iqbal Suji still leads the entire pack here. We still got Taj Aiman trying to follow very closely behind, but this is a very fast section here. Really, they're going to have to use 100% of the concentration and focus to make it true.
Ya, perlu juga menghadapi teknik break yang cukup baik di situ. Dan kali ini kita nampak kita menurun bukit di situ. Cameron James kali ini naik saja ke atas. Kita tunggu dan lihat apakah akan jadi. Nampaknya Iqbal Suji kini berada di dalam P pertama, diikuti rapat oleh Taj Aiman. Inikah satu seleko yang agak mencabar sebenarnya untuk semua para pelumba, dan masih lagi diikuti rapat oleh semua pelumba nampaknya. They have been doing really well so far, Victor.
Oh yeah.
Not much of a mistakes, but things can go wrong. But let's hope not. So kita tunggu dan lihat. But what's the fun of it? But man, we should not be watching race for the wrong reasons actually.
True. But then again, this is the virtual world, so you you don't need to be too worried, about their safety here. But then again, I love the fact that this first lap is so clean. We've had no collisions whatsoever through the entire that dipper, which is always the most dangerous point on this race. But so far, these drivers are keeping it clean. They're keeping very close to each other. So certainly lots of opportunities for overtakes here. Muhammad Afif, is he going to be able to find an inside line against Cameron though? Cameron right now sitting in P3 is probably the highest he's going to be able to finish here if he can keep that position, and certainly he's going to earn quite a few points here to hopefully make some chances of him getting to the finals.
Yep, so kita terus saja towards the mountain straight. Untuk semua para pelumba, masih lagi Iqbal Suci kini berada di dalam P pertama. Taj Aiman di P kedua, dan di P ketiga adalah Cameron James. Satu start yang cukup baik untuk Cameron James juga, sebab di dalam race sebelum ini beliau boleh mengatakan had a lot of problems, but now he's keeping it all clean and tidy so far. Kita tunggu dah lihat apakah yang akan jadi bila kita menanjak bukit di situ. Iqbal Suci cukup baik di situ. Taj Aiman dan Cameron James sama dengan Muhammad Afif. Nampaknya the battle is on for P1 sampai ke P4. Kita terus saja ke dalam Salman Park di situ, Victor. And let's see what's going to happen so far.
Yeah, still going to be a very tight race here. Oh, Cameron might have a look on the inside though through the dipper, so he's going to have to be very careful about where he decides to make that move though. I will actually hold up until you get past the dipper before trying to make moves like that, but Cameron seems to be a little bit impatient at the moment as he's closing the gap now to touch Aiman. Coming through the dipper now, this is a very tight line he's going to have to try to run through because he is getting chased hard here from Muhammad Afif, who is actually up against his bumper now as he come through with Forrest's elbow. Cameron actually getting a little bit slidey on the exit there, so might actually lose a bit of speed though as he come through as a Conrad straight. But so far, no chances for a move yet.
Ya, belum lagi kita nampak manuver yang akan dilakukan oleh para pelumba, tetapi kita terus saja ke Conrad straight, terus the chase sebenarnya yang kita akan lihat. Dan di on board kita nampak Muhammad Afif mengejar Cameron James, mendekati di situ. Bagaimana pula untuk Cameron James yang kini berada di hadapan, dan Taj Aiman di dalam P kedua. Masih lagi defending line yang cukup baik daripada Cameron James dan juga para pelumba yang lain mengekalkan posisi yang cukup baik. The race iaitu Seleko yang ke-23 sebenarnya, dan kita terus saja ke dalam Seleko yang pertama di situ, Victor.
It's a real test of endurance right now. We finished 2 laps only after 4 minutes, so this is a very long racetrack. So certainly these drivers are going to be tested to the absolute limit here of their abilities, so as it were, because we are literally talking about the top 20 drivers here in Malaysia. So we really want to ensure that we give them the maximum possible challenge here.
Ya, so jadi kita terus saja briefing nampaknya, dan masih lagi Iqbal Suci kini berada di dalam P pertama. Taj Aiman diikuti oleh Cameron James di P ketiga. Nampaknya the battle is really tight dari segi P1 hingga ke P4 nampaknya. Alvin Chai agak belakang tetapi masih lagi mempunyai peluang untuk mendekati para pelumba yang lain berada di dalam top 4 sebenarnya. Kita tunggu dan lihat apakah yang bakal berlaku. Kita terus saja ke skyline nampaknya. Itu adalah Seleko yang ke-10. So in the meantime, Alvin Chai cuba merapati para pelumba yang lain berada di dalam P4. Kalau kita lihat sejarah sedikit, perlumbaan bermula pada awal tahun 1930 di litar ini. So ini adalah one of the reasons litar ini mempunyai endurance races seperti Victor mengatakan, because you need to learn the track. Kalau kita melakukan kesilapan, oh man, it is a terrible nightmare for you.
Oh yeah, and again, this track being this long and this complicated, it means that it's very easy really to make mistakes here on this track, and it can be minor mistakes, just maybe a missed apex here, or maybe a missed entry right around there. But oh boy, looks like a bit of a chase right now for the lead here as Iqbal Suci got passed here by Taj Aiman as he came around through the chase. So let's see the replay right now, see what happened. So Taj Aiman got a nice slipstream though just before the chase and managed to make the move even before the corner here. So already battle is starting to form here between our top 2 drivers of this group.
Oh, so nampaknya Taj Aiman kini masih lagi berada di hadapan, but Iqbal had a chance there. Baik, kita tunggu dan lihat apakah yang bakal berlaku. Di P ketiga adalah Muhammad Afif di situ. So, kita tunggu dan lihat apa yang bakal berlaku di dalam race ini. So kita lihat sekali lagi Taj Aiman masih lagi mengekalkan posisi yang cukup baik, dan Iqbal Suci berada belakang beliau, dan I feel the gap is getting long and tighter so far antara P1 dan juga P2 all the way to P4, Victor.
Yeah, it's starting to
Starting to expand, man, yeah.
Yeah, it's expanding like the universe right now between Taj Aiman and Iqbal Suji. So you can tell that Aiman actually has a lot more speed to give, though, in this race. Haris Zefri seems to be causing a bit of a bottleneck right now because a three-way battle is starting to appear here for P6. Haris Zefri now trying to defend his position from Sam Wong and Danish Bigaswaran, who are caught up right behind him. They're coming up now towards the skyline here, so Haris is going to have to defend his way through the Dipper.
So inilah satu momen yang agak mencabar kepada para pelumba sebab you need to be very good and precise dengan cara break dan juga teknik break di situ. Dan ini dia di dalam P6 iaitu Haris yang baru saja kita nampak di dalam race kedua berada di dalam posisi yang cukup baik, tetapi Sam Wong juga masih lagi bersama dengan beliau di situ. Dan Danish di dalam P ke-8 mengikuti saja oleh Muhammad Faizal di dalam P ke-9. And I guess he's a little bit behind Danish there, Victor, but still there is a long way to go.
Yeah, still a long way to go, but it seems like Danish is not able to keep up the battle here, so it's now a two-way battle forming for P6. It looks like it might be a move there by Sam Wong to get side by side with Haris Zefri. Sam will have the inside on this next corner here, but he is going to be able to make the move stick, though. He's going to be able to stay in P6 ahead of Haris Zefri before they get to the chase, and that was a very clean move there from Sam Wong. But Haris Zefri is now starting to fight back. He is able to get the trap through the next section here. It's coming around to the final corner, but Haris has to take the outside line here, so Sam Wong tucks it in front of him by the time to get to the finish line.
So nampaknya posisi 5 ni terbuka kepada sesiapa nampaknya, but at the meantime kita nampak Haris dan juga Sam memberikan sedikit persaingan yang cukup baik. Kita lihat sekali lagi Sam Wong berada di dalam garisan luar, baru saja melepasi Sleko Hell di situ, dan terus saja kita bersama dengan Mountain Street. So kita tunggu dah lihat bagaimana gerakan-gerakan daripada para pelumba on board. Kita nampak Haris masih lagi mendekati, mengambil garisan ke dalam. Adakah ini peluang cukup baik? Pintas juga Haris di situ. Nampaknya Sam ketinggalan, dan terus saja Haris. That was a really good move. And maybe late breaking there, Victor?
Yeah, late breaking and a streamline as well. Haris Zefri managed to catch a lot of speed going to the entry there. So very well done. A very clean move there, in fact, for Haris Zefri. So now it's still going to be a challenge here for Haris again, because he's going to have to defend P5 one more time from Sam Wong as they come through the fast section here at Bathurst.
Ya, so jadi 20 minit yang terakhir kita masih lagi mempunyai masa dan juga peluang yang sangat-sangat besar di dalam perlumbaan ini. Ini adalah race ketiga untuk Group A. So kita lihat on screen iaitu Haris yang kini berada di dalam P ke-5 diikuti oleh Sam Wong. Baru saja kita nampak satu manuver yang cukup baik daripada Sam. Dan di dalam P9 iaitu Iqbal Suji sebenarnya. Oh, that's a drop there for him. He will still have the chance to catch up there, Victor. Bukanlah satu pertanyaan yang besar untuk seorang pelumba. Dan masih lagi satu tire management yang cukup baik daripada Iqbal di situ, Victor.
Oh, well, technically he went to the pits. That's
he went to the pits.
Yeah, that's why he actually ended up all the way down at P9. So I find
it a bit to see that, but I like how you spot down that. Yeah.
Well, I find that a bit interesting though. He's going to the pits very early on here, so I wonder if he's trying to go for a long run here on a hard tire. Yeah. So but the thing is that he swapped off to soft set, so I'm thinking that he might actually be going for multiple pit stops. Yeah, 2 stops, 3 stops maybe, just trying to maximize the running speed that he can get out of the soft tires.
Yeah, strategi ni boleh mengatakan tertakluk pada para pelumba, because they are the one that is driving, they are the one that is managing. So in the meantime kita nampak P3 memiliki kepada Alvin Chai yang masih lagi cuba mengejar Muhammad Afif yang berada di dalam P kedua. Dan Alvin Chai, cantik garisan itu, cuba mendekati Muhammad Afif yang kini berada di dalam P kedua. Dan itu dia Muhammad Afif, or we can call him Taichi Agami, satu nama gelaran beliau sebenarnya. So let's see what is going to happen so far. And for now the gap is pretty expanded dari P2 ke P3, Victor.
Yeah, at this point now it's going to be a battle of pit strategies here. So we already have Iqbal Suji going for the 2-stop strategy. It seems like the majority of drivers here are going for the 1-stop. it seems. So it's going to be interesting to see whether or not that strategy is going to work out here for Iqbal, because he's running a different strategy compared to everyone else.
Yeah.
So the thing is that he definitely has a skill, to maximize the running on these soft tires. Danish also has gone to take a fresh set of tires as well, so it looks like he's also going for the 2-stop.
Yep, so kita terus saja di dalam seleko yang ke-18 Forest Elbow di situ. Dan ini dia Haris, yang boleh mengatakan Haris Suhaimi mana nama benar. Dan ini dia berada di dalam P keempat. And that is a long way to go for him, Victor. But still, there's a pressure coming on behind him, which is Sam Wong. Kita pun dah lihat bagaimana untuk Sam Wong. Adakah beliau akan mendekati beliau ataupun tidak, sebab you have to know that bila ada juga kesilapan, advantage akan diambil oleh para pelumba yang lain.
Exactly, and right now I think Sam is just going to be playing the longer game for now against Haris. He isn't able to. I think that was a bit of a mistake he did there through the corner there. But like I said, he's going to have to play the long game here, I think, against Haris, because he wasn't able to fight him for position early on during that first stint. Slight replay there, so yeah, he went a little bit loose there as he tried to go through the chase. So again, I think he's gonna have to play long, I suppose. So for now, though, it seems like Iqbal Suji is slowly regaining positions here, because he's now back up to 6th place now, thanks to the pit stops from the other drivers now.
Yeah, talking about length there, Victor, this entire circuit is 6.213 kilometers. It's really long. Satu track yang cukup panjang, sebab itu adalah kita nampak memiliki panjang yang ataupun 2 straights, iaitu Conrod Straight dan juga Mountain Straight. So, what do you think so far with this track? 6 kilometers, endurance race, and so much more going on in this track, man.
Yeah, it's just a lot of unique things can happen on this kind of track, and Iqbal Suji now catching up to Sam Wong. I think he might actually make a pass here before the skyline if Sam Wong actually gives a space. But Sam, he's going to try to hug the wall here, and that's going to allow Iqbal to take the inside. He takes it. He doesn't even give any face at all to Sam Wong through there. Takes it before the skyline and pretty much takes P5 through the dipper.
Ya, pintas. Jangan tak pintas mengatakan Iqbal Suji di situ, yang kini berada di dalam top 5 ataupun P5. Dan diikuti belakang oleh Sambo yang baru saja memberikan posisi beliau kepada Iqbal Suji. So in the meantime, kita tunggu dah lihat bagaimana pula respon daripada Sam Wong. Kini berada belakang beliau. Tetapi let's see on the other side, Haris juga. Dan in the meantime, Sam Wong, adakah ini peluang yang cukup baik untuk Sam Wong? Tapi Haris yang kini berada di dalam P keempat. He's not having much of a pressure there, Victor.
He might be facing pressure soon, though.
Soon, because the other twos are coming really fast.
Yeah, Iqbal is really climbing up the boards yet again here. I think we're going to be having another set of pit stops here, ladies and gentlemen, because we're already at the halfway point here. So for the one-stoppers, it's going to be time now to take their stop. Touch Ayman is in the pits now. He's going to be swapping off to a fresh set of tires here, and hopefully that will be the only set of tires he will need here to complete the race. So it's going to be interesting. Like I said, Iqbal Suji seems to be going for the 2-stop strategy here, whereas Touch Ayman is going for the 1-stop. The only question I now have is who has the right answer? Who's going to finish ahead of the other by the end of this race?
Yeah, Touch Ayman, seperti apa Victor kata, is on a fresh new tires. Dan in the meantime, kita hanya mempunyai 15 minit yang terakhir kepada semua para pelumba ini untuk mendapati posisi yang cukup baik. And even in this race, Victor, I still feel pressure is still going to be on the P5. And in the meantime, accumulation of points is going to be much more interesting to see.
Of course, especially at the end of this, we're going to have to tabulate the points so that we can see who are the top 5 in terms of points. That is the top 5 that we'll be getting into the grand finals here, mind you. So, yeah, this race here, the position that they finish in here is going to be absolutely important, especially for those who are currently tied for points, especially for 5th place, for 7th place, etc. So really, they're going to have to maximize whatever points they can get out of this one race.
Ya, so jadi kita terus saja ke seleko yang ke-9 di dalam litar ini, Butters ataupun lebih dikenali sebagai Mount Panorama. Dan kita terus saja bersama dengan para pelumba. Kita tahu, I think this is the P2 if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Yeah, itu dia, Iqbal Suji. Yeah.
Haris Zephyre has not taken his pit stop yet. That's why he's currently leading the race, but his tires should be just about cooked now because we're already like having 13 minutes left on this race, so it's already way past that halfway mark here. So Haris, I think, is going to try to run these tires until they're pretty much done here. Cameron looks like he's having a look on the outside here. Oh, Haris! Haris is already off the track. He's going to have to go into the pits though, so yep, he's going to have to get a nice fresh set of tires, but that might actually have cost him a bit of position. You see the replay there. Oh, he tried to go inside the pits, but unfortunately missed his line a little bit and ended up on the grass.
Ya, benda ni kerap berlaku sebenarnya. Not only for races like this, but even F1 races have done things like that before. But itu dia. Kita tunggu dan lihat apakah yang bakal jadi. Dan di dalam P pertama masih lagi Iqbal Suji. Kalau kita lihat dari segi tayar for Cameron untuk Iqbal Suji, what do you think so far, Victor? Can he finish the race all the way? Or he needs to go to the pits again?
I think he needs to go for the one
more pit, eh?
Yeah, one more pit stop because his tires already worn quite a bit, and he's running on the soft tire. Don't quite remember. Yeah, his fuel situation
is blinking.
Pretty much. Yeah, that means he has to go for a pit stop though, no matter what. So. I can't quite recall what the set of tires he was using initially. I think he was using a medium set early on, so I think he pretty much could go for another soft set after this. So yeah, I mean, it's very interesting that he's going for this two-stop strategy, but given that he's in the lead right now, he might be onto something. Oh, that's looking a little bit slidey there for Iqbal, but that's a good save there.
Yeah, talking about pit stop strategy ni adalah satu benda yang sangat-sangat penting bagi para pelumba sebab the best way you're going to do enter the pits and the best way you come out is going to be very crucial di dalam race ini. So masih lagi kita lihat Iqbal Suji yang berada di dalam P pertama, seperti apa Victor mengatakan, beliau perlu masuki ke dalam pit sebab we saw his car was almost sliding few times, and I just hope he does not take the risk even further.
Well, the thing is that, running on a two-stop strategy means that you cannot really play a lot of tire management. If anything, you're just basically working hard to burn through the tire as quickly as you can. So, well, in that case, Iqbal has pretty much got enough of his current set of tires. He's going to be swapping off to a fresh set of tires, and that's going to allow Cameron to inherit the lead now. So Cameron J, who finished last in race number 2, is currently in the lead.
Yep, so nampaknya Cameron J yang kini berada di dalam P pertama, dan kita mempunyai 11 minit yang terakhir. Kepada anda yang sedang menonton secara langsung, ini adalah Toyota Gazoo Racing Velocity Esports Championship. Dan bersama saya, Matthews dan juga Victor, para pengulas anda untuk hari ini. Dan kita berada di dalam race ketiga, race yang terakhir untuk Group A sebenarnya. So only top 5 races akan memasuki ke dalam Grand Final, dan kita tunggu dan lihat siapakah nama-nama mereka di dalam 10 minit yang terakhir di sini, Victor.
Yeah, right now we're riding aboard with Alvin Chai as he attempts to get the chase onto Muhammad Faisal, who's currently in P4. So this is looking like a battle right about now as Alvin Chai slowly closes up the gap now towards Muhammad Faisal, and coming up the hill now towards the cutting. And it's right now just keeping his line nice and tidy here. Alvin Chai currently is seeking an opportunity now to get past here, but through this section is going to be quite fast and quite tight, and Alvin Chai is doing very well to keep within touching range of Muhammad Faisal.
Ya, Muhammad Faisal masih lagi berada di dalam posisi yang cukup baik, tetapi bukanlah sangat selamat sebenarnya sebab dikejar rapat oleh Alvin Chai di situ. Tunggu dan lihat, nampaknya Alvin Chai berada di dalam garisan yang keluar sebenarnya. Dan ini dia seleko yang betul-betul mencabar sebenarnya sebab it's gonna go all the way downhill. Breaking point kena dengan tepat dan juga perlu hit the apex properly on the other time. Dan kita tunggu dan lihat apakah yang bakal berlaku. Adakah ini peluang yang cukup baik untuk Alvin memintas Muhammad Faisal, ataupun Muhammad Faisal masih lagi akan mengekalkan posisi beliau di hadapan. Dan kita terus saja dengan ini peluang yang cukup baik untuk Alvin Chai yang berada di sebelahan di situ. Dan kita terus saja, adakah ini peluang yang cukup baik untuk Alvin, dan nampaknya Alvin memintas juga dan terus ke dalam P keempat meninggalkan Muhammad Faisal ke belakang.
I knew he pretty much had it. The moment he got out the exit of Forrest Elbow and he was literally right against the tail of Muhammad Faisal, I knew pretty much he's going to have it by the end of the Conrad straight because he had all the space in the world to take the slipstream. Muhammad Faisal now pretty much had enough, so he's going to go ahead and swap off to another set of fresh tires here. It's going to be a two-stopper here, it seems, for our friend.
Yep, 8 minit yang terakhir, Victor. I'm really excited to see what's going to happen. Ada juga beberapa pelumba sudah pun memasuki ke dalam pit stop. Ada juga pit stop strategy yang dimiliki oleh para pelumba. That is all down to them. But what matters right now is the top 5. Siapa yang akan habiskan race ini di dalam top 5 dan mengambil point yang cukup baik untuk memasuki ke dalam grand final. So kita lihat sekali lagi Iqbal Suji yang kini berada di dalam P4 terus saja melepasi Griffins di situ. Iaitu Sleko yang kedua. Terus saja Alvin Chai, Haris sebenarnya yang berada di dalam P ke-5. Dan di ke P6 adalah Cameron James. Nampaknya Cameron James went all the way down a little bit, Victor.
Yeah, he had to take an extra pit stop there, so unfortunately that means
Was he running on soft?
I think he was, but now he's going to switch off to the medium tire, so he's already pretty much fulfilled the requirements for the pit stops now, so pretty much should be able to keep this set of tires to the end of the race. But given that it's a fresh set of tires, that means Cameron is going to have an opportunity to push probably a bit harder than what Haris has at the moment, because I think Haris is running on a slightly worn set of tires there, so he might be a little bit slower, so that actually might help Cameron's case then.
Ya, harap je Cameron akan mendapat satu posisi yang cukup baik, but let's see what's going to happen. Iqbal Suji kali ini berada di dalam P ke-4, cuba mengejar Alvin Chai. Dekat ini peluang yang cukup baik untuk Iqbal Suji. Kita tunggu dan lihat bagaimana. Kita terus saja di dalam Conrock Straight. Dan kita akan tak lama lagi akan nampak the chase. Ini adalah satu peluang yang cukup baik, tetapi jarak yang jauh memberikan sedikit masalah untuk Iqbal Suji di situ. Untuk memberi sedikit cabaran untuk Alvin Chai untuk memintas di situ, Victor.
Yeah, but with Iqbal, pushing very, very hard on his current set of tires here, I wouldn't be surprised if he will be able to close the gap to Alvin Chai. But the jury is still out though for whether or not he'll be able to get to start to contest Taj Ayman for the lead, because it's still there's not a lot of time left in this race. I'm afraid it's only at most 3 more laps here on battlers that we can run by the time this timer runs out. But Iqbal Suji certainly is doing very well here in order to try to close up to Alvin Chai, so there might be a possibility of a podium on the cards here for Iqbal.
Yap, masih lagi terbuka, masih lagi peluang ini kepada sesiapa sebenarnya. So kita berada di dalam Sleko yang keempat kali ini. Alvin Chai yang berada di dalam P ketiga. Kita mempunyai 6 minit yang terakhir. Nampaknya mendekati di situ Iqbal. Adakah ini peluang yang cukup baik untuk Iqbal memintas? Dan nampaknya kesilapan daripada Alvin Chai. Dan nampaknya Iqbal Suji memintas juga Alvin Chai di situ. Dengan kesilapan daripada Alvin Chai. Iqbal Suji, he said, you can do all the mistakes all you want, but man, I'm gonna go ahead of you.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's the classic situation right there. You keep the pressure going on your opponent, and then just hope they make a mistake. Another mistake there for Alvin Chai, as I was talking about it. Oh man, quite unfortunate here, but good news for him at least is that there's a 4-second gap between him and Haris Zefri, so plenty of space there for him to recover his drive.
Ya, Haris kali ini berada di dalam P ke-5. Terus saja kita bersama dengan para pelumba yang lain, The Forest Elbow. Kita baru saja melepasi Haris Suhaimi berada di dalam P ke-5. Alvin Chai juga di dalam P ke-4. Iqbal Suji di dalam P ke-3. Muhammad Afif di dalam P ke-2. I'm not sure about the jarak untuk Afif antara Taj. Oh, that's a 10-second gap, man. And it's really long.
Yeah.
Never mind to that.
Yeah, Taj Ayman is pretty safe, I would say, in this P1 position here. So, like I said, Iqbal, he tried something a little bit different here with the 2-stop strategy, but I don't think it actually quite worked out here against Taj Ayman's single stop. So, nevertheless, though, that's still good enough for Iqbal to take P3 in this race. So I think that's a very good guarantee for the finals here. Of course, we'll still have to tabulate the points at the end, though, so it's still not guaranteed whether you're going to be in the top 5. But I would say that Iqbal and Taj Ayman certainly has already put a very good case for themselves to get into the finals.
Ya, boleh dikatakan begitu di situ, Victor. So Iqbal Suji kini berada di dalam P ke-3. Dan on the meantime, kita nampak Alvin Chai juga berada belakang beliau. Dan kita mudah lihat adakah ni peluang yang cukup baik untuk Alvin sebab beliau melakukan kesilapan. Peluang ni terbuka kepada Haris sebenarnya. Sebab banyak kali kita nampak Alvin Chai melakukan kesilapan bila ada tekanan yang besar daripada para pelumba yang lain. In the meantime, Haris is chasing Alvin and waiting for Alvin to make a mistake.
Yeah, and speaking about being chased though, Muhammad Afif is looking very nervously inside his rearview mirror because Iqbal Suji is starting to appear over the horizon right now. So going through the dipper now are these two drivers here, and Iqbal certainly is smelling an opportunity here to actually take P2. So Afif now is going to have to work very hard here to defend his position here through the dipper because Iqbal is going to be right on his tail by the time they get to the Conrad straight. So this is going to be perfect situation here for Iqbal to set up an overtake. He just needs to get into the slipstream. So tucking up behind here is still a bit of a gap now before they get towards the chase. So Afif should be a bit safe now through this straight, but we can already see Iqbal closing that gap now with the slipstream. Look at how much speed he's actually gaining onto him. So able to take the inside and pretty much nails the corner there, takes away P2, and pretty much, I mean, what you can't expect anything less here from Iqbal Suji.
Oh, terbaik daripada Iqbal di situ. How fast this man can be. He just went past Afif like he was not even there, man. That is so impressive daripada Iqbal Suji di situ. Memintas Muhammad Afif. Muhammad Afif probably was like thinking, you know, I didn't even see him at the back. And how did he even appear in front of me? But that is racing, my man. Dan itu dia Iqbal Suji. Sudah pun menaiki ke tangga kedua. Dan Afif masih lagi boleh mengatakan he's in a safe state lagi. Berada di dalam P ketiga. Kita lihat apa jadi di dalam P keempat. Dan juga Haris. The battle is on untuk P5 di situ, Victor.
Yeah, for P4, in fact, Haris, if he is able to make this move work, because he's actually gaining onto Albin Chai now through the mountain straight. So, oh boy, Albin moving in to try to defend the inside line here because he knows that Haris is going to be attacking him right about now. So, very well done here. Albin Chai staying in front for now, but Haris Zefri is really fast here through the section. So, I really wonder if Albin's going to be able to hold on here through the cutting. Pretty much will be able to hold it, but now through this fast section here, let's see if Haris is able to make the chase.
Ya, tekanan demi tekanan untuk Haris di situ. Seperti saya katakan, Haris hanya menunggu untuk Alvin Chai melakukan kesilapan. Tetapi Alvin Chai, so far, so great for him. But the pressure is on sebab kita nampak Haris masih lagi mendekati beliau. Adakah ini peluang cukup baik untuk Haris? Nampaknya sudah pun mendekati di situ untuk Alvin Chai. Haris nampaknya slow it down a little bit, giving him a little bit of a gap. But he is still fast enough. Sebab kita pun menurun bukit di situ. Haris masih lagi mengejar di situ. Alvin Chai berada di garisan yang cukup baik, tidak memberi peluang untuk Haris. But things can change here. Masih lagi Haris di situ. Dalam P kelima diikuti rapat ke belakang iaitu Cameron J. Cameron J is just watching both of these races. You guys do mistake, I'm going to take an advantage of it.
And right now Alvin, he's giving so much toll right now to Haris, and Haris is going to be able to go around the outside of the chase here in order to make this move, and pretty much he already made it stick already by the time they drew the Conrad straight. So again, Alvin Chai unfortunately dropping down to P4 now, and that's pretty much going to open the door now for Cameron to start to attack him for position here because Alvin is slowly dropping off in speed.
Yeah, the biggest pressure is with Alvin Chai so far yang kini berada di dalam P kelima, diikuti rapat oleh Cameron James. Kita tunggu dan lihat. There's few more seconds to finish the race, man.
Oh my goodness, yeah, it's still going on and on here. It's should be around the final lap here, ladies and gentlemen, with the timer already running through here, but we still have a battle on our hands for P5 because Alvin Chai, he's been bit slow right now towards the end of this race here and could be in danger of losing his position now to Cameron James, who's now closed up to him through the mountain straight, trying to go around the inside here, can't quite outbreak Alvin Chai, so Alvin stays in P5 for now. A bit slidey there for Cameron James. His tires is actually quite okay, but he's really pushing very hard right now because he's sensing an opportunity right now to take a position here, but Alvin Chai is literally in his way.
Ya, Cameron James cuba mencipta nama di situ di dalam P posisi kelima, tetapi Alvin Chai is under big pressure sebab beliau bukan berada di dalam posisi yang agak selamat dan diikuti rapat oleh Cameron James di belakang. Kita kemudian lihat apakah yang bakal jadi di dalam perlumbaan ini as we go straight to the skyline kali ini bersama dengan Alvin Chai, dan onboard adalah Cameron James. Blocking yang cukup baik daripada Alvin, agak agresif juga boleh mengatakan. Kita terus saja menurun bukit di situ. Masih lagi rapat itu Cameron James kepada Alvin, dan masih lagi satu seleko-seleko yang cukup baik diambil, teknik-teknik yang cukup baik ditunjukkan oleh para pelumba ni. But now the Forest Elbow, lepas si Forest Elbow ni kita akan terus ke dalam Conrod Street. Ini akan memberikan peluang yang cukup baik untuk Cameron James memintas Alvin Chai jika Alvin Chai melakukan kesilapan. Dan kali ini kita nampak Alvin Chai cuba mengambil garisan ke dalam. Adakah ini peluang cukup baik untuk kenapa tukar kepada Touch Aiman?
Gets coming around the finish line here. Touch Aiman finishes the race in front of everyone else here. He wins race number 3 ahead of Iqbal Suji. Should be coming across the line right now. But I want to see Alvin Chai. Alvin Chai got passed by Cameron J. Cameron James is now in P5 now as they come towards the final corner now. And it looks like it's going to be P5 for our driver from Sarawak.
Bila kita memberi fokus untuk persaingan Alvin Chai dan juga Cameron J, kita lupa juga pemenang kita Touch Aiman yang berada di dalam P pertama menghabiskan race ini dengan cukup baik, cukup unik. Dan Iqbal Suji di P kedua, ya, diikuti oleh Afif dan juga Alvin Chai di P keempat, dan di P kelima Sambo sebenarnya, dan di dalam P keenam Danish. This time it was on P8 actually, my man.
Yeah, so that's our results for race number 3, and man, oh man, Touch Aiman did it yet again here.
How fast this guy can be, man. How unique, how special this guy can be. It's just so incredible watching him. I mean, me and Victor had a joy of watching the entire race today, especially the battle between 4 and 5. We literally forgot our winner up the front.
And that's how exciting these battles tend to be, because again, they're fighting for the chance to get into the finals here. But well done yet again here to Touch Aiman and Iqbal Suji, showing yet again why they are considered the fastest here in Malaysia.
I mean, it was so fascinating, it was so amazing. Satu race yang cukup hebat daripada para pelumba. Tetapi now the points is the most important part, Devika.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have to tabulate all of that. You know, there's still a lot of calculations to go here, so you know, we're gonna have to take these points as provisional at this point. But really, you know, for the top guys here, I'm not too worried. You know, because they've really shown that they're very capable drivers here. I mean, the amount of talent within this field here is just incredible.
Yeah, I mean, before we just go down to the final results and stuff, who do you think the driver of the day?
Oh, driver of the day right now. Oh, this is a good question though. I mean, I would say like there's a few really good candidates here. I mean, Hari is having a good recovery drive in race number 2. Cameron James, you know, having a good race number 3. I would say that this is actually a fantastic result for him. But when you say driver of the day though, it's got to be Touch Aiman. I mean, for sure. You know, starting from the back of the grid, able to overtake everyone using the same car, mind you, the same car as everyone else. So really, it just shows how much of a level Touch Aiman is compared to everyone.
Ya, satu talent yang sangat-sangat special itu Touch Aiman. So nampaknya kita akan lintas hormat bersama dengan Nas dan juga para pelumba. Dan Nas, my man, take it away, brother.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Victor. What an exciting race 3. Again, my heart almost beating out of my chest. We saw so many battles, first and second, third and fourth, all the way till about 7th or 8th, yeah? So I had high hopes for some of the drivers to come in from behind. But here we are with Muhammad Afif Suhaimi. Congratulations on grabbing 3rd place, race 3. How are you feeling right now?
I'm feeling relieved, man, that I get a really solid qualifying. And yeah, your strategy here is really important. Sometimes do stop work, sometimes you really need to keep up.
Absolutely, I agree with that. I mean, compared to race 1 and race 2 versus race 3, what were the biggest challenges between race 1, 2 and this 3rd one?
1 and 2 is just like the track and the car. Like, I don't use the car since it's so bouncy and boaty. Like when I drive this car, the Group 3 car, the GT3, oh my god, it's like in my territory.
Macam langit dengan bumi perbezaan dia kan?
Oh man, jauh.
Yeah, I could see the carriage moving side to side in race 1 and 2. So now with the GR Supra, you are in your element. What do you think your chances are for qualifying to the finals?
Oh man, it's very very tight. That's one thing. It's gonna be very tight for the race for finals.
Did you have because I was looking at your race and your two-stop strategy, and you came in pretty early as well and trying to maintain it all the way till the end. Do you think the strategy was faulty, or do you think you just slipped up towards the end and letting Iqbal cut you just towards the end of the race?
I know he has the pace and he's on softs, so I can't just race with him. So since I know that I'm quite ahead of him and I don't want to lose too much time, I have to let him pass.
I see. So it's all part of the plan, part of the strategy?
Yeah.
Excellent. I love the fact that things can get so technical. Even though you didn't have much exposure, you had very little time to get yourself exposed to the car as well as the track. Have you raced in Bathurst before?
A lot in Asarakosa.
I see.
A lot. I love it.
So what is it about this track that's most challenging for you, Bathurst?
When you on top of Skyline and then you go down to Didipur, it's so challenging. You really want to make the car as balanced as possible, so you didn't wear the tire as much.
There you go, especially going downhill. Got to watch out for those braking points. Congratulations on grabbing 3rd place and wishing you all the best. Hope to see you in the grand final as we tabulate the scores.
Thank you.
You're welcome. That was Muhammad Afifi coming in 3rd place for race 3. And of course, the people to beat, Taj Aiman and Muhammad Iqbal Sufi. So far, so good. Now we're going to be going back to the commentators. Let's take a look at the race highlights down under in virtual Australia, Bathurst.
Alright, yep, it's back to the action here again. This is the highlights from race number 3, and Iqbal Suji, had such a perfect start here, not only taking the lead right off of the line, but also taking P1 right from the first corner.
Yeah, it was really amazing race there, Victor. I mean, especially going really fast on the tight corners. Seleko-seleko yang mencabar sebenarnya kepada semua para pelumba, but they did absolutely well, especially Taj Aiman, Iqbal Suji, and even Cameron James as well.
Yeah, so such a magical place, isn't it? This place here in Bathurst. The first time I've actually got to know this track here, I literally thought it was a fantasy track. I couldn't believe that a track like this could actually exist, but it actually does, and it's right here in Australia. So for most of the race, though, it's all about a battle of strategy. We saw very little challenges for positions, though the ones that we did manage to see were certainly quite exciting. Iqbal Suji was fighting his way to the nail through this part here. I mean, that was a very brave move he did over there. But most of the movements were all done right here at the Conrad Strait. I mean, again, such a perfect place to set up a pass. You can pretty much grab a slipstream if you can just get right behind your opponent once you get through the forest elbow. So really, that's where we saw most of the really good passes happen here.
Yeah, so nampaknya satu race yang cukup baik. In the meantime, there was also pretty unique pit stop strategy daripada Iqbal and the few other racers, Victor.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, again, given the race is so long, it's pretty much opened the door for a lot of variant strategies here. So you can see some of the guys decided to go for the one-stop strategy. Some went for the two-stop, and pretty much the ones who really nailed down their strategy well pretty much made up the most places here.
Yeah, and there's going to be a lot of protests coming on as well between all the races, because ada juga banyak kali kita nampak mereka ni melakukan langgaran dan juga ada juga aggressive driving. So jadi kita lihat result apa yang ataupun tangga so far, what is happening. So di dalam P pertama, that is Taj Aiman with 68 points, Victor.
Yeah,
that is impressive. But with only 10 points difference, we see Iqbal on the P2, and on P3 we see Muhammad Afif Suhaimi on 33 points, P4 Alvin Chai with 30 points, and P5 is Haris Shuaimi with 30 points.
Oh, that's just enough there to get in 5. But for the rest of the grid, though, Danesh Wiggins-Warren has 27 points there to take 6th place. Muhammad Faisal will have 18 points to take 7th, and 17 points goes to Daniel Voon for 8th position. Cameron James, after impressive race number 3, is able to upgrade himself to P9 in front of Wong Boon Sam. So that's 11 points to 10 for the bottom 2.
Bila kita mengatakan peluang ini terbuka kepada sesiapa, but we see lots of changes happening from P3 all the way to P5, Victor.
Yeah, and again, I do have to give the caveat that the points here are still considered provisional. Again, we still have to get through the protests as well as any other final adjustments by our race stewards. So again, still, congratulations once more to the drivers here. You know, they fought tooth and nail for all of these points, and I can only hope for the best for those guys, and hopefully we'll see them in the finals.
Betul tu, Victor. Harapnya kita akan melihat siapa yang akan masuk ke dalam top 5, sebab ini adalah result provisional, belum lagi result yang terakhir sebenarnya. So in the meantime, kita akan bersama dengan Nas. So my man, take it away, brother.
Thank you, Victor. Thank you, Matt. My friends, wow, my newfound friends. I've learned so much from you guys as we observe the first 3 races. Semi-final 1 is over. Congratulations to the top 5. Of course, as said earlier by the commentators, it's still provisional, pending any protests that should be headed in. We've got about 30 minutes to do that. But there's no time to waste, ladies and gentlemen, because semi-final 2 is about to begin in just a few moments. And 10 more races, but only 5 spots to go to the grand final. So we're going to go into it a little bit. Will they be driving the same cars? Yes. Will they be going through the same tracks? Yes. But, well, let's just see whether the drivers in semi-final 2 have been observing or maybe getting ready some extra tactics. Who knows? It's all open in semi-final 2. Meanwhile, once again, thank you to our sponsors, Toyo Tires, Denso, NK, Modelista, Drive M7, Motis, and Toyota Capital Malaysia. I'm Nazruddin Rahman, your host for the Toyota Gazoo Racing Velocity Esports Championship 2021. A quick break, maybe a quick shot of coffee for myself. It's exciting indeed. I don't really need coffee to stay awake, and we'll await semi-final 2 coming up in just a few moments.
It starts with a belief, a mission, a desire to rise through every challenge with our sight aimed at the sky. We're pushing the limits in the never-ending race towards ever better. Every lap is a discovery of what it takes to accelerate our capabilities. And we're not slowing down. We evolve to satisfy that calling from within. To get the adrenaline racing. To bring extraordinary to the everyday. Take on the exhilaration. New Vios GR Sport. Built to thrill.
Toyota, all about the drive.